All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining our Twitter space tonight. Just 2 more minutes, please. I'm trying to catch up with some of the speakers, and we'll be here shortly in the next 1 minute. In the meantime, do well to share the link on your Twitter space bio. Share on your WhatsApp status. Invite your mentees, invite your prodigies, and let's have a conversation tonight. Thank you very much. I'll be with you in the next 2 minutes. Thank you.
It ain't like you hearing it and it's like moving you. Music is, and the music you make, it's life. It's like new life. It's important for me to understand the state of mind and the life you live and where you're at right now. Pull up like surprise is the president. Can't you see that I'm in my element? I might just decide to slide on my enemies. I go along on a glide for the hell of it. I bring a different vibe when I'm stepping in. If a nigga ain't right, I'm correcting it. Everybody know for sure I'm gonna take it there. So close your ears and dot your eyes when you're messaging. I never subscribe to guys on the internet. Living for the cloud, telling lies to the press again. But I don't take me for the fool, I ain't never been. Don't bother with lies, I'm wise when I'm checking them. I'm redirecting them back to this and them. You go see reality, go start arresting them. Real I see them no here when I was telling them. But life real, I ain't living like the rest of them. Yes, we are blessed, but it's harder to see sometimes. Trying to find my peace of mind. You said, how could you be so blind, baby? You just follow your dreams and then live your life. I give you something to believe in. I'ma be the reason. So please stay. So you won't leave. Real life is for living, but the life you live is gonna change. Please stay. So you hold me. Real life is for living, you just.
All right, guys. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. We have around. I think we have 15 people on the space now. Thank you for joining. You guys are very, very fast in catching that slot. 360 Degree Health Network, Lillian, Sarah, Platinum, you're welcome. Favor, One Belinda, you're welcome to this Twitter space tonight. 360 Degree Health Network, Victor Obina, if you want me to use, if you want me to co-host invite with that link, please let me know. Or you're going to join with your personal Twitter space address, so I can send you a link so you can come up stage as a speaker tonight. Thank you all, guys. Thank you for joining. It's a great opportunity to always be on the space talking about education, career, how we can advance ourselves while we are making money, we are making progress, and of course, there's an expectation towards our achievements as nurses and of course as professionals. Quick housekeeping this afternoon. If you are using Twitter Space for the first time, or this is the first time you are joining on the space, please on the left button, you're going to see the microphone button there. And there you can send a request if you want to ask a question, if you want to give a contribution, or you want to share insight as well. So just click on the microphone button to your left, in the lower part of your phone or your mobile device or your laptop. Just click on the microphone button, and it turns to it gives you a Nike symbol, like good. So that means that a request has been sent. So once your request is sent, you will not be able to speak until the host or co-host actually grants you a request to come up. Then you see your speaker symbol on your name. By that time, you can actually speak and unmute your mic. And if at any point you want to give any emoji, you want to use any of the emoticon, we have a lot of them here. We have the love emoji if somebody is saying something that you love. And we have the laugh emoji. Somebody saying something funny and it's cracking you up on the space. And of course, we have the clap emoji. Somebody give a silent point, a beautiful point, and it resonates with your thinking. Of course, you might want to clap for that person. then this a peace sign. If you want to say, oh, peace, like I agree with you, and yeah, I'm at peace with what you're saying, and I'm not at violence with you, and yeah. And if you want to just wave your hand and like, okay, I'm listening, that's fine as well. Then if you want to raise your hand, you have a question, you want to antagonize someone, or you want to share a contrary opinion, please, you could actually use that emoticon. And if you want to bring your hands down when your question has been answered, just click the same button again, and your hands goes down. All right. So yeah, that's just a quick housekeeping tonight. I'm still waiting for my guest and of course my co-host tonight, so we can actually get things rolling. All right, you're welcome. I can see my big sis, Ophelia. Ophelia, good to have you in the house this afternoon. I'm just going to send a quick DM to audio speaker so they can join me up here as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I'll keep you on with the same music. Yeah, thank you.
It ain't like you hearing it and it's like moving you. You know, music is, and the music you making is life. It's like new life. It's important for me to understand the state of mind and the life you live and where you're at right now. Pull up like the price is the president. Can't you see that I'm in my element? I might just decide to slide on my enemy. I go along on a glide for the hell of it. I bring a different vibe when I'm stepping in. If a nigga ain't right, I'm correcting it. Everybody know for sure I'ma take it there. So close your ears and dot your eyes when you're messaging. I never subscribe to guys on the internet. Living for the clout and them lies to the press again. But I don't take me for the fool, I ain't never been. Don't bother with lies, I'm wise when I'm checking it. I'm redirecting them back to the sentiment. Then you go see reality, go start arresting them. Feel like see them know here when I was telling them. But life real, I ain't living like the rest of them. Yes, we are blessed, but it's harder to see sometimes. Trying to find my peace of mind. You said, how could you be so blind, babe? You just follow your dreams and live your life. Now you need something to believe in. I'ma be the reason. So please, please, say you won't be. Real life is been living, but the price you will give is not cheap. So please, say the whole, yeah. Real life is been living, you just know how we style them guys, them go try now. Live on and never hear my story, make you find out. I know say nobody is an island, but if them want fuck you on yash, make you know lie down. And then when you feed, you realize, but the way you done them move, I know they like, somebody want to wear the shoe and those eyes, They have a destiny, you're the survivor. Real no be China, from your love in a guy. And nothing I ever said, I've been alive. Anytime you see me look up in the sky, I can see the daylight in the night. When you see a soldier smile, it's a good sign. That's the
All right, yeah. All right, Mr. Zaya Warrior, I can see you on the timeline. Good to have you. I just sent you an invite to join as a co-host and, of course, as a speaker. Please do to accept our invitation. I will be happy to bring you upstage tonight, Mr. Zaya Warrior. Good to have you. Good to have you. And if you're just joining us, Binta, Blinda, Ishaku, you all are welcome. Ibindu, you're welcome. Mr. Zaya, just click on the microphone button. Underneath, just click on send a request so that you can send a request for you to speak, and you can be added as a speaker. In the meantime, I've also sent you a request as a co-host, and so you can come up stage. All right. I'm still waiting for Bayern Victor, and of course, yeah, Isaiah Oweye is now co-host of the space. Thank you very much. I'm going to introduce him in due time, and of course, he's going to tell us about himself as well. And I'm sure some of you are meeting him for the first time. And I'm also sure you is also meeting many of us here for the first time as well. All right. So, Mr. Zaya, we're here. You're welcome on the space. Good to have you. Richies, you're welcome. I mean, guys, you're welcome. If you know, if this is your first time on the space, we host this space every weekend, Fridays or Saturdays, speaking on career education. I mean, educational opportunities, career advancement, and of course, international pathway for nurses to explore opportunities to advance their nursing education and career. And of course, we do that every time. We bring some of the best people around the nursing profession, in the healthcare industry, and in business development management who can speak on topic around healthcare, careers, and of course, nursing education. We believe that strongly that as we are earning, is also very, very important that we learn as well. So, we've had this consistently. We have a lot of topic previously. We've had a lot of guests in the house as well. And of course, today we're going to be having three other guests. If you've seen our flyer, please do it to share on your group. I'm going to be posting the flyer on the Jumbotron now. The Jumbotron is a place where you could actually see information about the space and of course what we are sharing around that area. So the Jumbotron link is there, and I'm just going to be putting that there right now. All right, posted, finito. All right, good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Our first speaker here is Mr. Isaiah Ware. Yeah, many of us do not know him, but I'm definitely going to introduce him to you. The little I know about him before he's going to introduce himself as well. Mr. Isaiah Ware is a registered nurse from Nigeria, RN, BSc, MSc, and of course currently a PhD scholar at the University of Cape in South Africa. Right here in Africa. So Isaiah Ware have been one of those phenomenal nurses who have actually served as a senior lecturer at the Afe Babalola University. He has constantly been involved in advocating for nurses. He has been involved in unionism, and of course, he has been at the forefront in driving progressive academic agenda to inspire nurses, to develop nurses, to serve as an inspiration to the next generation of nurses from Nigeria and across board. The next voice we're going to be hearing right now is Isaiah Ware. Isaiah Ware is also a co-author, and if you've not, I'm going to send this all of the book he wrote recently, Isaiah Ware, and he wrote the book. Many of us must have read the book. The book is titled "Unionism and Professionalism in Nursing: The Heroic Legacy of His Royal Majesty Oba Apostle Moses A. Olabode." He was the author of that book, and of course I'm going to be sharing the link to some of the books that you could actually go and have a read for yourself. And and we have our second guest speaker is Victor Obinna, my friend, my man, my mentor, my leader. I mean, Eze Victor Obinna. If you've not had any chance to meet him, trust me, today's your lucky day. You're going to listen from Eze Victor. You're going to hear his unique insights and perspective concerning education, concerning healthcare, and of course concerning nursing in general. So we have two speakers here remaining, and I'm very, very happy to have them in our midst this evening. I'm just going to be giving the microphone to them. They're going to tell us where they are spacing from, and of course we're going to start getting the conversation started. Starting from Mr. Isaiah Ware here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Can you just say hello to us and tell us where you're spacing from, Mr. Isaiah? Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time zone is in your area. My name is Isaiah. I think Prince will have talked much about me, so I don't really know what more to say. But I can tell you that I'm a nurse, a registered nurse in Nigeria. I'm a registered nurse educator. I'm a registered psychiatric nurse, and I worked a different area in Nigeria. I lectured in the north, I lectured in the east, and I also lecture in the west. I have been involved in the training of students in schools of nursing in the mission school, also at the state level and federal. So presently, I'm a PhD scholar in the University of the Western Cape, South Africa here. Thank you so much, Prince Ware.
Thank you very much, Professor Isaiah. I'm already saying Professor, pardon me. Thank you very much, Nurse Owoye Isaiah, all the way from University of Western Cape, South Africa. He's currently juggling it right there to get his PhD. I mean, this man has paid his dues. He has been there. He has done that. RONE, mental health, BSc, MSc. and right now is going for PhD. Trust me, there's a lot of inspiration today, and it's going to tell us why he has embarked on this journey. And of course, many of us are going to draw inspiration from there as well. We also have my friend here, Eze Victor Obinna. I mean, I can read his portfolio extempore. I can read his portfolio off heart, off hand, off head, anything. He's one of my mentor in nursing. I mean, he's an inspiration, and of course, you'll be privileged to have people like Eze Victor Obinna in your corner in nursing career. Eze Victor is the first nurse that I know to win, to be nominated, and of course to be accepted into the prestigious Mandela Washington Fellow. The Mandela Washington Fellow is the leading leadership development program in Africa that accepts around 70 Africans every year into the prestigious Mandela Washington Fellow organized by the United States of America. And of course, he's one of the first nurses that I know to be a winner of the prestigious Commonwealth Scholarship, and of course, currently a scholar in the University of Manchester United. And not just that, he is currently running 2 master's degrees concurrently, one in nursing education and another one in public health. On top of that, he is a full-time worker in NHS England. I mean, this guy is a magician, trust me. Working full-time in the NHS, working 37.5 hours in a week, 1 hours in public health full-time, running a master's in nursing education full-time, and managing and leading a international organization as the chief executive officer of 360° Health Network. I mean, only a genius can actually do this. Eze Victor Obinna, good afternoon, good evening. Let's get to hear your voice and do what to tell us that you're spacing for, Mr. Victor.
Good evening, Prince Will and every other person here. It's an opportunity joining us here this evening. Mr. Isaiah, good evening. I was so opportune to work with Mr. Isaiah in one of his books. I think that should be his first book that focused on one of the icons in nursing. It was really a privilege then. We worked together, and I thank God that book was a success, or is a success. So when it comes to my person, well done, Mr. Isaiah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Victor Obinna. Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to this one person who liked testing the waters, I've tried everything. I've practiced as a nurse, which is the common denominator that connects us all here. I've practiced as a nurse. I've been a nursing lecturer in a school of nursing. I've worked in communities, that is public health. I'm managing a social enterprise. I'm focusing now on academics, just like Prince Will have said. I don't know what the future would hold for me, but I know it would hold great tidings for me and every person I would connect with. So this is just me on a nutshell. I'm so happy being here, and I'm expecting a very good conversation this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. I'm happy to be here, and of course, I'm expecting to have a good conversation. Like I said, he's spacing all the way from Manchester in United Kingdom, England. And of course, Mr. Woye is joining us all the way from South Africa. I'm just about to post the Amazon link to Mr. Isaiah's Woye recent book on professionalism in nursing. So you just head up to my timeline now, and you're going to see the book right there. You can go and order it. If you are a nurse here, you're looking at navigating into professional advocacy in nursing. I mean, take that word seriously. Professional advocacy. Advocacy must be very, very professional for you to actually yield the result that you desire, or else you're just going to be advocating and you keep getting into trouble. And at the end of the day, your license is withdrawn, and probably you might not be able to practice any part of the world. So Isaiah Woye has been there, done that, and he wrote about unionism and professionalism, highlighting the key effort of Majesty Oba Olabode, one of the first Secretary General of the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Nurses in Nigeria. And I just tweeted that now. You can do it to check that out on Amazon. And our Eze Victor Obinna here is also an author as well. He has authored several books, and one of the most remarkable is one on leadership and position for leadership, how to lead, influence, and persuade people, and of course, how to grow your own leadership platform. The book is also available on Amazon, and I'm just trying to I'm trying to work with 3 hands at the same time. I'm posting, I'm talking, and of course, I'm replying messages. So yeah, I'm just going to be posting that right now from Eze Victor Obina. All right, that's gone. So I'm also going to be sharing them on the Jumbotron so we could see them as well. All right, so I'm just going to save this. Good to have you guys. I mean, I can see another leader right here, Nurse Timothy, another PhD scholar, all the way from United States of America. Good to have you here, Mr. Timothy. And I can see my friend, my brother and colleague, Adewumi, and of course, Mr. Zion. You all are welcome. Chinedu, you're welcome. Adeleke, Nora, Ibidu, Omar. I mean, you all are welcome. Please do well to share this flyer on your WhatsApp story. And of course, do well to retweet the post on our Jumbotron so that other people could actually benefit from this conversation. Trust me, the opportunity to see people like Eze Victor Woyeye, you only see them in every Eke market day, and today is one of those Eke market days. So we have to utilize them, we have to greet them, ask them questions, and of course, match the opportunity to gain mentorship from them tonight. I mean, like I always tell people, mentorship is not, mentorship can be in different level. It could actually be direct, indirect, and of course, it could actually be reverse as well. So, I mean, ability to ask salient questions, ability to ask key questions, ability to have people who have been there, done that, to talk to you about their journey, to share insight about concern. Trust me, that's mentorship on many levels. So the guys like Victor, you're welcome. I'm just trying to pin this on the Jumbotron, and just a minute. Okay, yeah. So guys, just going to pin out in Jumbotron. Yeah, shared. All right, like I said, housekeeping for the last time. If you're new to Twitter Spaces, this is your first time on Twitter Space, you should just go on the lower part of your mobile device or your laptop. You're going to see a microphone button there. Just click on the microphone button and it turns like good. It means that you want to ask a question. It means you want to speak. And it also means that you want to contribute towards the topic. And of course, we see emoji like love emoji. Means if you love what somebody is saying. If you are laughing at something, I mean, if you want to clap at a point, an opinion, if you're at peace, of course, and of course you want to wave. And if you want to raise your hand to ask a question, those are the emoticons that you could actually use to navigate this space tonight. I'm just trying as much as possible to hold it down before Baye and Victor join us. He asked me to give him some minutes. I mean, he's the third guest speaker for tonight. I'm just trying to hold it up. I don't want to get into the engagement and then bring him later. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah, and I'm also going to be having a representative from University UNICAF. I'm sure many of you have been seeing UNICAF scholarship flying around. 70% scholarship for nurses, for master's degree, for BSc degree. I've been able to call him one of the key partners at UNICAF, and he's going to be coming tonight to tell us about how nurses from Nigeria or Africa could actually maximize and navigate the opportunity in getting 70% scholarship for funding as well. I think this is the cheapest scholarship that has ever been rolled out since my existence as a nurse. The scholarship program is actually very, very flexible. I mean, 70%, an average degree or an average master's program in the UK. If it's a master's program for 2 years or 18 months, you're going to pay nothing less than 12 to 20,000 pounds. But the UNICAF scholarship, all you are paying together is just £3,000. I mean, £3,000, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? With that £3,000, you are able to pay in 7 installments. Can you beat that, guys? You can pay in 7 installments. I mean, £3,000 divided by 7, meaning you can pay £300 every 2 months. I think every 3 months. You can pay £300 every 3 months. So if you're working in Nigeria, you can access it. Now, £300 in 3 months, that's around 200,000 naira. And if you're in the UK, trust me, £300 in 3 months is no big deal for you as well. So, guys, we'll be expecting representative from UNICAF. They're going to be joining us to be discussing about how we can access our scholarship to forward our degree and, of course, to forward our career as well. I mean, you guys are especially welcome. Many of you could have been on another Twitter space tonight, talking about Obi, talking about Atiku or Tinubu, but you jettison all of that to be right here. And that just shows how much you value professional development and, of course, personal advancement as well. I think we cannot wait for Brian Victor now. He says he's going to join us. Unfortunately, he was called to pick up extra shifts. Those of you in the UK, you know how it looks like now. I mean, when you are too good, they always call you to come and take extra shift. So he says he's going to be joining us when he's done with his medication, and apologies for that. So just go straight up to Owo Eye Chairman, and of course, Eze Victor Obinna. Just to know, Obinna, are you still there with us?
Yes, Victor. I'm here.
Oh yeah, Mr. Isaiah, are you still there with us?
Yes, thank you.
All right, yeah, you're fine. I mean, before we get into our conversation tonight, we usually have a pep talk where we get to have a fun side of you, catch your opinion, and of course, just to play before we actually get into the serious matter. I mean, this is a Twitter space and it's for professional, but hey, we're not going to be wearing bow tie. We're not going to be wearing suit and squeezing our face. It's going to be fun, chill, and of course, we're going to manage the conversation in that area. So I'm going to be starting with you right there, Mr. Eze Obinna. If you are given $5 million right now to forfeit your license, will you or will you not?
I will.
I will. All right. So tell us why.
It's a very direct question.
All right. Tell us why you do that.
Okay. Now, forfeiting my license means I won't practice nursing, right?
Yes, you won't practice nursing.
But the greatest strength I have is not actually my license. It's the knowledge I have acquired over the years. 5 years, guys, in the university. I studied political science. I studied social, what was it called? Sociology of medicine. I studied so many courses that are not even related to nursing. So why would I need a license to be able to express this knowledge if I'm given money you just called? I can as well go and unseat the director of WHO with that money. You understand? I don't need a license to do that. I just need the knowledge, the money, and the connection and the network. So I will forfeit my license. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eze Victor Obinna said he's going to forfeit his license for $5 million. Thank you very much. Diplomatic Isaiah Weye, don't be diplomatic on this. So give us the straight answer, Isaiah Weye. Are you going to forfeit your nursing license for $5 million?
Oh well, I don't think I will be comfortable with that. It's a whole lot of money anyway, but I don't think I'll be comfortable with that. I have different mentees all over. But by the time they see that I'm going with the 5 million naira in order to jettison the license, I don't know what I will be speaking to them. So I think that's a message. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said, the diplomatic way here, you always have a diplomatic response. And of course, we've seen that display right now. Zaya, thank you very much. Next question for Eze Victor, like I said, is just chill. Eze Victor, be now use the latest Samsung mobile device or iPhone 13 Pro Max?
I will go for Samsung.
Why Samsung? You did forbid iPhone.
Samsung. I think iPhone is an ostentatious product. When I say ostentatious, it's just there. It's just there for the name. Yeah. It's just there for the name. Like people carry iPhone, they would only show you the back of it that has the Apple logo, so you know they have an iPhone. All right. But person who carry Samsung no need to brag saying carry Samsung because he knows what is inside what he's carrying. I'm not saying iPhone doesn't have stuff, you understand? But I think it will be Samsung for me.
Thank you very much, Obinna Victor Eze. Owoye, is your time to respond. Would you rather use an iPhone 13 Pro Max or the latest Samsung?
Okay, I think I will go for the latest Samsung too. Different features and all of that I think will be in the iPhone is also in the Samsung. And again, I want to think that when it comes to picture value, the picture value in iPhone is quite better. But I think Samsung can also give me the same quality because it has a very pixel. So I think I will go for the latest Samsung.
All right.
Thank you.
for the first time, the two guests are agreeing on the same opinion. I think you deserve a round of applause for that. Thank you very much. Go back to Eze Victor Obinna. If you were with the type of exposure and information you have access to right now, Eze Victor, will you how will I say it right now? If you have to go back in time, will you still have studied nursing in 2022?
That is a hard one. That's actually a hard one. Okay, if I'm to go back to time, would I have studied nursing? Well, initially it wasn't about nursing, all right? I'm being sincere with you guys now. It wasn't about nursing. I would have studied law, but to an extent, I was convinced not to. But if I'm to go back to time, I will not study law either. But I would study public policy. All right? I would study public policy. Now, it deals with policy making. It's not as if it's directly linked to politics. No, not. It's just about formulation of policies. It could be around healthcare. It could be around education and all that. Now, when it comes to studying nursing, we should not be sentimental about it. At the end of the day, we are all solving. So if I say I'm not going back to study nursing, don't hold it against me. All right. Is as far as you're solving a problem that you're so much interested in, that solve something good when it comes to making humanity better, I think everybody should be okay. Whether it's nursing, whether it's around government, whether it's around social policy, everybody should be fine. So if I'm to go back to time, I'll go for public policy.
Thank you very much, Eze Victor. What year, 2022, will you have studied nursing?
Oh, well, I think I will still be a nurse if I'm to in 2022. If in those days, if in 1998, I can think of going through school of nursing. So when it's something, nursing was not that popular like this, that every Dick and Harry just wanted nursing, and people are paying so much in order to get nursing. So not at this stage, 2022, that everybody wants nursing, that I will now be thinking nursing is not. But another thing is that by the time you now grow in the profession, you are going to be seeing area where you can diversify. And like Mr. Victor Eze Obinna said, it's everything to humanity. So I will still study nursing, and I can actually diversify there in order to help more people. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Isaiah Owoye. I'm happy to also let you know, guys, that we have Mr. Michael Mokoduwon. Is a student advisor at UNICAF, and of course, he's a representative here. At some point, he's going to be coming up to tell us about the UNICAF 70% scholarship for nurses, how nurses can get access to scholarship for masters, and of course, for BSc program. Two more questions for Eze Victor. Two more questions for Eze Victor and Isaiah Owoye. We're trying to buy time. We're trying to get Victor on board, waiting for him to finish his medication. NHS and stuff. Yeah. So just an easy one. Eze Victor Obinna, Davido, Wizkid, or Burna Boy? Victor Obinna, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I unmuted my mic. So yeah, this is actually a very difficult one. Davido has always had a soft spot in my heart. But you see that guy, Burna Boy, I don't know how his music is like going through my head, as if like the guy just is scatter my brain. And it's just as if Davido is just lacking behind these days, and Burna Boy is taking all the hits now. For Wizkid,
I like the way you call it, like Burna Boy, like that this is an Igbo man.
I tell you, for Wizkid, I'm just indifferent about him, but I've not really thought about him in any way. I don't listen to his music and all that. So is Davido for me, then Burna Boy, I like his style of music too.
All right. Owoye, you want to give us your opinion? Mr. Isaiah Dada, you want to share your opinion with us? I don't think he can hear us. Mr. Warrior Isaiah, can you hear us, please? Victor, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I think is a fault for Mr. Isaiah Warrior. We just wait for him to come back online. In the meantime, Mr. Michael, are you in a comfortable place to speak now?
Yeah, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Michael. How you doing today? Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing? So good evening,
Yeah, I'm
everyone.
fine. Yeah, I'm fine, fine, fine. Yeah. Are you in a place where you can speak in the next 10 minutes? Like, if I invite you in 10 minutes, can you come up?
Yes, of course.
Okay, no problem. So in 10 minutes time, and when we go and have for the conversation, I'm definitely going to bring you up on ground and introduce you properly. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Okay, catch you soon. Yeah. All right. So Mr. Isaiah, where you are you there with us now? On the network as the feedback is poor from Mr. Zaya. Hello, guys. In the meantime, you're still on Space with Prince Will. Here we get to talk about career, education, and of course, how to explore opportunities, how to navigate opportunities. We have resource person, we have experts, we have people who have gone through the process of advancing their education from our end to our BSc to post-basic to MSc and of course to PhD, and some of them are currently moving towards becoming associate professors as well. So we have a lot of people, and of course for you, the listeners, many of you are experienced in your field, many of you have the right education in your field as well, and at some point we're also going to be inviting you to share your insights concerning advancing in nursing. In the meantime, please go on the Jumbotron. The Jumbotron is just the scroll message above where we have information there. The book by Isaiah Warrior has been posted there, and of course, Eze Victor Obina's book. I'll just go post it shortly. I'm trying to do 5 things at the same time. Mr. Isaiah Warrior, I think send a request again so you can come up. I think that'll be fine. So, Mr. Isaiah Warrior, send another request again so that you can come up and speak. For now, we are unable to hear you, and the feedback is actually very, very poor. Thank you very much. We still have Victor. We still have Eze Victor Obina and Mr. Michael from UNICAF. Thank you for joining us this time. And like I said, the space promised to be engaging, interacting, educating, and of course, intellectually stimulating. We all are going to definitely have an opportunity to learn from Eze Victor Obina and of course from other guests here tonight. So just move back to Eze Victor Obina to answer his final question before we get Mr. Zaya Dada. Eze Victor, in terms of professional development and maintaining a good network of resource persons that can help you advance your profession in nursing and in healthcare, between Twitter and LinkedIn, which would you recommend as your number one hub for Twitter, Victor?
For professional advancement, I will go with LinkedIn. Yeah, I will go with LinkedIn. That's for nursing, right? If you want to have that direct contact with people in nursing, I'll go with LinkedIn because LinkedIn has this professional environment. Like if you're sending someone a code message in the inbox, the person knows something related to you being professional and all that. The feeds, news feeds are all filled with professional content. So LinkedIn would be it for me. But I think Twitter is more like conversational. Twitter makes it very much easier for you to get your thoughts out there. Let me say if you're someone who wants to actually put your best foot forward, who wants to grow in the profession, who wants to make that impact or let people know that you actually exist or want them to know about what you're working on, Twitter is that place where you get your voice heard and you can actually connect with anybody.
All right, thank you very much, Victor. Will you want to talk about that? Twitter or LinkedIn?
Okay, I think I should start from the last one you talked about. I think you were talking about Davido and others, right?
Yeah, Davido, Wizkid, and Burna Boy.
Okay, well, I should tell you that I don't know Wizkid. I don't know Burna Boy, how they look like, their song. I cannot tell you any because I'm not used to those type of music. But I know Davido. I know Davido very well, and it's not the music that endears me to him. But I just like the young man. as a philanthropist. So I think I would prefer Davido.
Okay, Davido it
Okay.
is. And yeah, so let's have your opinion on in terms of professional development and of course building quality network, Twitter or LinkedIn, your preferred.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yes.
Why do you prefer LinkedIn over Twitter?
Oh, well, you can network better using that in a way. And like Mr. Izobina just stated now, so you can actually get, professionals are more professionals use LinkedIn more than Twitter in a way. So I think I will go for the LinkedIn.
All right, thank you for sharing. To the main question, guys, we're going to get to the main question. We still have Eze Victor Obina, and of course, Isaiah Weye, Mr. Bayern Victor. We're still waiting for him to finish his medication run. Okonjo Stephanie, maybe you can help him take over from that medication so we can get Bayern Victor. To come up stage. In the meantime, we'll just continue with Obina Victor Exe and Isaiah Weye. I mean, Victor, you've currently are a scholar with the prestigious University of Manchester, and I learned that you are on a fully funded scholarship. I mean, you do not pay for tuition, you're not paying for anything, and in the next 18 months or in the next 1 year, you are going to be a graduate from the prestigious University of Manchester for public health. So, want to know how are you able to combine? And of course, I also know you're also doing another full-time master's program in Nigeria, part-time, where you're doing a master's in nursing education and you are doing a master's in public health. You are working full-time in NHS. Some people will wonder, like, how is it possible? Is it the same NHS where I'm working 1.5 hours in a day? Is it the same NHS where there's work stress, there's burden, and of course, there's low motivation to perspire? How is this guy doing it? And of course, you're not like you're an old man. You are a young man, and of course, you're within our generation. So what happened? What do you do different? And how are you able to manage all of this together? And what's the inspiration? Eze Victor, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince Way. You didn't add that I'm single also, so at least I would have enough time to focus. That's not me saying that married people don't focus. So, so guys, I think everything goes into you being motivated, into you being very much intentional. Now, I wouldn't want to spend so much time on this question, but I would say that it hasn't been really easy. Now, fortunate to have both programs operating in different ways. Like the first one I'm running in education is actually not in Nigeria, is in Zambia, is an online program. So I'm fortunate to have both programs being online programs. So I don't need to travel to any site to take my classes and all that, which is one of the things I will be sharing with us here when it comes to nursing education. Online programs, they are growing in popularity now, and people are taking it as an option. So both programs are online programs. That of Zambia, University of Zambia, they operate it per model. Like I can decide not to take any model for the next 3 months. As much as I focus more on my models to pass them, I can decide to take each model for 3 months and all that. So it makes it a little bit flexible. While that of University of Manchester runs like a normal academic system, they run per term. Each academic year have its own academic work and all that. Now, how do I put it into my workspace? For those who work in NHS, you work an average of, let me say, 3 days in a week. All right. Except if you want the extra money, you can start doing bank shifts and all that. So I'm this kind of person that use my night a lot. So I can work hard in the daytime, but at night I try as much as possible to zen. It's not easy. That's where the sacrifice comes in. Sometimes I would be at work, I'll be feeling sleepy, like I'll be feeling very exhausted. I will be in the front desk trying to check out maybe medications online, and I will be feeling sleepy. I will tell myself, oh boy, if you sleep here, they don't sack you, because you're sitting down there, everybody is just looking at you. And guys, I'm working in the accident and emergency unit. So it's not as if it's in the ward where you can maybe stay one corner, do your thing and all that. It's just accident and emergency is just like an open hall. Everybody is just running around. You don't even have time to sit down to do anything, not to talk of you resting. So I think it's just about that personal drive and all that. Now, it has its downside. Its downside is that I don't give my 100% attention to any. I don't give my 100% at the work. I'm this kind of person who is a realist. I'm very much realistic. I don't give my 100% attention to work. I don't give my 100% attention to both programs. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying my best to push myself forward. I've not failed any course. I've not had any issue at work. Just try to balance it. Now, if you've known me before now, I'm always on social media. There was a time I would tell people that I'm omnipotent in social media space. But since I started this program, the downside is I've not been very much active in social media spaces. Some persons will ask, what's wrong with this guy? What's going on with this guy? But I'm building a system which would determine what is going to go on with me in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eze Victor, he said he's omnipotent on social media, but trust me, with masters, trust me, you just want to stay low sometimes, focus on your assignment, complete your essays, get back to your lecturer, get good grades, and not repeat a module, because most times it comes with several repercussions. You mentioned something very, very significant about running the program in Zambia online, running the program in Manchester online. Before now, I still strongly believe, because I'm one of those guys that at least I have interaction with at least 5 to 10 nurses a day regarding career counsel, exploring international opportunities, and of course, human capital development. I still strongly believe that there are more nurses from Nigeria who do not believe that online education is real education. I mean, before COVID in 2020, thank God for COVID, it has brought positive side, and it also have negative side. And part of the positive side that COVID has brought to us is to recognize that education is actually possible beyond the four walls of the classroom. I mean, we saw people like in the USA, in the UK, during COVID outbreak, they were not like, okay, school is shut down or stuff like that. No, we saw them moving straight up to their learning management system. People in college, people in high school, people that are taking dance training, people that are taking voice training, already have a system to actually get training as well. Plus, we saw what happened in 2017 in Nigeria. I mean, before 2017, if you do not have a degree, you can actually rise to become a director in the federal, state, or local Ministry of Health in Nigeria. But we saw the latest update where if you do not have a degree, you are no longer going to be allowed to cross level 15. And we started seeing people from Federal Ministry of Health, those mamas in their 50s, those nurses in their 60s, running back to LAUTECH for online distance learning. Just in summary, Eze Victor, what is your elevator pitch for nurses who still believe that online education is inferior to face-to-face education? Because there are some people right here, they can argue that the education that you go to sit down in class is superior to the one that you receive online. I want you to open their eyes, and of course, I want you to share latest perspective on the reality on global education. Thank you.
Okay, online education and on-site education, you have the same faculty members who provide on-site education, bringing in their materials online to teach. All right, the difference is that you are not sitting in a classroom. We have another one that is called blended program, where you sit in the classroom, you take your program online. But if you're going for online, the same certificates you would get is the same certificate someone who is learning on-site would get. They will not write it online degree. No. So why would you then stress yourself if you have the leverage of taking your program online? Why would you then stress yourself going on-site to do it if you have the leverage of doing it online? Now, I'm not talking against on-site education, because at the end of the day, we all have that desire to connect more with people, a real-time experience. All right. So it's all about your needs. Look at your needs. If you think you have the time, if you think you have the leverage of taking an on-site education, sitting in the classroom, learning live, where you have the lecturer interacting with you, that is perfect. But if you're a kind of person who is busy, who has so many other things going on for him or her, who is a professional, let me say you have a family, for instance, that you need to manage it all this, online education will be an option for you. there is no limit to it. It doesn't have less value to on-site education. It doesn't have less value to blended education. You still have the same degree as someone who is taking his or her program on-site. If you even want to attend their graduation, they will make available slots for you to attend their graduation party so that you would have that same feeling upon graduation. Thank you.
Absolutely, Victor. Online education does not in any way limit you, and of course, offline education is not inferior as well. Like I always tell people back in Nigeria, I mean, there was one of my mentees he still feel bad. When he was trying to start his degree program after his RN, this guy went back to university to go for a face-to-face program because his parents were against online learning. This just me trying to emphasize, I mean, whether I would like it or not, online, offline, they have their disadvantage. But I want to highlight one key disadvantage of face-to-face learning in terms of people that want to advance. You already have your RON or you want to do your master's or degree. Let me tell you one disadvantage of offline. I mean, the education you have to sit in classroom. Number one, as a registered nurse who is qualified and is registered under a body, NMCN for example, going back to school for a full-time face-to-face program for your MSc full-time, it results in wasting years of experience. If you graduated from School of Nursing 2012 and you graduated from School of Nursing 2012 and you gain admission into, let's say, University of Benin for full-time program, and your other friend gain admission into LAUTECH for online program, your friend is going to graduate, let me say, after 3 years. Then you're going to graduate after, let me say, 4 years. That your friend going online is going to start getting real life work experience. Probably working as an emergency nurse, probably working with an NGO, probably working in an HMO, or working in the medical department. He's going to start gaining quality experience. And of course, he's getting experience, and at the end of 2 years, he's going to get in education. So in 2 years plus, he has a BSc plus 3 years experience. But for you going for full-time, after you finish your hour, you want to now go back to full-time university to start afresh from 200 level, guess what? You are most likely not going to find an employer that will employ you working part-time because they want you to commit yourself 100% to them. So most likely, you're not going to get a job. You're not going to get real-life work experience. So you're just going to be going to school, and after 3 years, all you have is a bachelor degree. And of course, you do not have any real-life work experience. And of course, if you want to come with the competition around the world now in terms of working in the US, working in the UK, working in Nigeria, work experience is a crucial factor that is considered. I mean, even why you also have education as well. So if you're right here and you're thinking of, okay, I'm going to go for full-time nursing degree, I'm going to stop working and face my education, it's not a bad idea, but just know that these are the possibilities that can happen as well. Thank you very much, Eze Victor. We're going to go straight up to Mr. Zaya Wue here. I mean, right now, 2022, what's happening around the world? There's upgrade across healthcare, upgrade in finance, upgrade across education. People are advancing their education. If you see the title of my broadcast, I said no profession can go beyond the level of education of people within that industry. Mr. Zaya Wue here, to younger nurses who are in their early 30s or in their 40s or in their 20s, why do you think nurses should prioritize advancement in education even when they can work in the NHS and go on vacation and chill?
Well, the truth of the matter is that we cannot grow beyond the development of our environment. So I want to state that education is very, very important. I will not be someone that will be having a Twitter space with great people like you if I've not been able to develop myself up to this present moment. I think I should be somewhere in one of the villages in my state, in the farm, and nobody will know me here. So the truth of the matter is that education is very, very important in order for us to advance. And as we are here, we should just be thinking global. We should not just be having a narrow view of life. Like Eze Victor Obinna was saying, I was one of those proponents of no to digital education. One that don't really like online education, and it's because of my environment then. In Nigeria, let me tell you today, by the time you talk about online education, some, not all, some institutions will not really welcome that. They will not want to employ you with that. So blended, I know people will still like blended education in a way, but now being able to move away from Nigeria, I have seen, can one say I have seen the light. So at present, my study is development of digital education technology for the use. Development of development of a guidelines. I'm developing a guideline for the use of digital education technology in nursing. So that is what I'm doing now. So I have been able to see now that education is, you cannot just get yourself restricted by saying because the institution has not released me for a program, and that's the reason why I could not go. Look at what our people suffer in those days, that they just want to be in the four wall of that university to go there and stay, and the institution will not release them. Now, if you are not released and right in your environment, you are developing yourself, develop yourself. At the end of the day, you will launch out. You will launch out and you'll be better than those who are so parochial, having a narrow view of life. So we should think global. And like I said from the beginning, we cannot develop more than the development of our environment. And that's the reason why we need to move out. You really need to go out for conferences away from the shore of Nigeria and see life in another dimension. So with that, you can be in the comfort of your room and do a lot of study and look at skills people are acquiring now. Data scientists are all over. People are getting educated and acquiring skill right in the comfort of their rooms, and they are doing better. So I think whoever wants to succeed in life should just have that determination that you will not want anything to limit you, and you will do all that is within your power in order to break loose from the system that want to copy you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isaiah. I mean, your keywords there, if you want to go global.
Prince, are you there?
Yeah. I'm there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I said nice one from Mr. Isaiah Ware here. I mean, talking about if you want to go global, you have to prioritize consistent education. I mean, right now, like I was telling somebody the other day, almost all nurses in Nigeria or from Nigeria are coming to the NHS. So the era of rich, poor, and average nurse has been cancelled with that NHS system, because before now we have that are earning 500,000, that are the rich ones, that are the average ones. We have the ones earning 2.5 million naira monthly, that are the rich ones. We have the ones earning 50,000 naira, that are the poor ones. So right now in the UK, once everybody lands in the UK, I mean, it is 24,000 to 30,000 pounds in a year, which is the average everybody know. The opportunity for you to become rich will no longer be dependent on where you work, but how much you're able to use education, learn 21st century skills to be able to advance yourself. I mean, talk about data scientists, talk about healthcare management, talk about product management, talk about healthcare innovation, talk about managing artificial, talk about product management development, talk about healthcare cybersecurity, talk about lots of solution architects, cloud engineering. People are diverting their energy, diverting their skills to learning something new, and of course, nursing is gradually advancing beyond the bedside. Mr. Zaya, I just want to share one more selling point. I've had conversation with many nurses who are now in the UK. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and sometimes out of my quest in inspiring nurses to advance their education, I just throw to some of my prodigies like, when are you going to start your degree, or when are you going to start your master's? And many of the feedback is that I work in the NHS. If I do degree or I don't do degree, I'm still going to become band 5. If I want to become band 6, I can, with my RON, I can become band 6. So whether I do degree or not is not a priority for me right now, as long as I can go in the NHS career. What is your advice for those? I don't know which of you is happy to talk about this, either Victor or Mr. Weye. And what's your advice for people who feel like whether I do degree or not, the NHS, and I can go in my institution? Start with Mr. Zaya. Over to you, please.
All right. I think it's a narrow way of viewing life. In any climb, a leader is a leader. So by the time you thinking that way, you are already setting boundary for yourself, and you are not giving room for any improvement. So your net worth is your net worth is dependent on the way you are able to develop yourself over time. Now, I used to tell people that the country, our own dear country, may be looking somehow now, that a point in time may come that the country will be in order and people will want to maybe return home. So that by the time you look at it that you don't want to develop yourself and all of that, by the time people are returning home, if you want to return home at that level, you may not be that useful, because those who are even at home and they are taking pain in order to improve themselves will be far better than you. So we should not in any way, okay, look at Mr. Victor Obinna, with all the ties and all of that, is still trying in order to, do something for himself. So the truth of the matter is that one should not just think, I want to limit myself. The only limitation you can give yourself is the only limitation you can have is you not trying to improve. They want to set limitations for yourself. So if you are in NHS and all of that, just improve. Try as much as possible to acquire this education. A point may come, even in that setting, that they want another position. A position will be open, but by the time you have not made yourself available, you have not prepared for that kind of opportunity, the opportunity will just be there, and you are not going to be relevant. So we should be relevant in a way that we cannot just, we will be indisputable in the system. So I think that's the way people should just be reasoning. And that's what I tell most of those that have been able to pass through me that are in the NHS in the UK now.
Thank you, Mr. Zaya. Let's hear your opinion, Mr. Victor, on the same topic. What's your opinion?
So basically, I'm speaking to those in this nursing space. Now, someone was actually telling me that she's not a Nigerian, she's a Zimbabwean. So she was telling me that she loves Nigerians because once they are leaving the airport, right? Once they are leaving Murtala Mohammed Airport to the UK, to the US, or to Canada, it's as if they are going to fight a war. Like, they have this winning mentality. It's either they succeed or they don't. All right? So I think that is one thing we are known for as Nigerians. We have this fighting ability. Anywhere we find ourselves, we just try to make ourselves distinct. You see someone graduating with a third class in Nigeria, the person will come over to the UK and other countries, they will be bagging distinctions and all that. Now, why I'm saying this is I just want all of us here in this nursing space to know that your fight is actually different from those in the Western world. You're coming from a third world country, all right? If it was easier for your parents to create those opportunities for you, they would do that. Now, the ball is now in your own court to create opportunities for your children. How do you create those opportunities? Is by having so many options. You're working in the NHS, and yes, of a truth, progressing in the band system, you don't need a master's, you don't need a PhD. To an extent, you don't even need a BSc. Just be a registered nurse, all right? We all know that. But what are your options? I know you may not be interested in academia. I know you may not be interested in other aspects of nursing. You just want to be a bedside nurse, all right? You just want to maybe progress the band system, be a nurse manager, be a clinician, and all that. But it's good to all options. And I know nursing is not just the only thing you're passionate about. You're passionate about so many other things. So you can focus your education around it, not just nursing. Now, our world is a place where you see people taking courses in education management of people living with autism, education management of these different clinical conditions. These people, they are just trying to solve solutions that are specific to individual natures. It may not be you solving the biggest problem. It may just be you focusing on the tiniest of it. Now, when they are looking for an expert in that tiny niche, who would they call? They will not go and call a doctor, a physician. They will call the person who is a specialist in that tiny niche. Let me say you studied education of people with autism. You'll be an expert. If they need anything, you will be the person they would call upon to solve that problem. So for those of us who are in the NHS, maybe you're already planning moving to the UK, the US, it's actually good you chase education, just like Mr. Isaiah have mentioned. You chase education. I've been someone who loves education so much. Now, I'm even doing the public health, not because of the fact that I'm going to work public health practitioner, but because I'm running an organization that is public health based, that is community health based. Just imagine the idea. Okay, I'm running this organization. I'm already doing it. Why do I need a degree to chase it further? Okay, so let's just try as much as possible to just get as much knowledge as we can. It's not going to be easy, but to pay off someday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eze Victor. I mean, in his final words there, he said it's not going to be easy, but definitely it's going to be worth it. In the words of John Dewey, I think he said education is not the preparation of life. Education is life itself. If you think you have to prepare and move ahead to stay or you want to go for education, education is not you preparing for one level. Education is life in itself. The difference between where you are and where you need to be is an access to information and, of course, quality education. You need to constantly involve yourself. The reason why nursing is among one of the less regarded professions in the world is because of the quality of people in the profession. We have every 10 nurses where you say an average of 10 nurses, you have 6 to 7 who have their masters and PhD across all departments in clinical, in education, in governmental organization, in the health maintenance institution. Trust me, the perspective and narrative of nursing in Nigeria would have been far, far greater than what it is right now. But trust me, go to the teaching hospitals, government hospital, medical center, we have RN everywhere. So, of course, a doctor who is a fellow of West African College of Surgery or a doctor who is a fellow of West African College of Hematology who know the investment of education, automatically education increases their self-esteem to make them intimidate you with your RN as well. So you feel like you have RN, you know you are naked. That's why if somebody comes as a surgeon and he tells you to do this, you're going to be scared because you feel like, okay, I'm actually superior. This guy is actually a surgeon, he's a medical doctor. But if you are a doctor of nursing practice and you have your own experience and you're working as a unit manager, you rub shoulders to shoulders. And of course, there will not be any form of intimidation. So guys, whether you work in the NHS or not, please prioritize advancement in education. It's not cheap, it's not easy, but it is definitely worth it. Oh, NHS, whether I'm band 5 or not, I'm going to grow, I'm going to get this without my degree. How about if NHS stop to exist tomorrow? How about if another party come into the UK and say, you see right now, we do not think the NHS system is working for the UK people. We are going to introduce another system. Will you be sure to move to the next level? Or will you fade away with the NHS system? I'll leave that question to you. Before I move ahead with the next conversation, Michael from UNICAF is right here. He is a student advisor and, of course, a course advisor at UNICAF. UNICAF, like I mentioned earlier, they are currently giving Africans over 70% scholarship, especially for nurses to study bachelor's degree for as low as £3,000, MSc degree for £3,000. I mean, an average MSc degree right now, like I said before, is around £12,000 to £20,000. And right here, you're getting it for £3,000 and you can pay in 7 installments. Mr. Michael, good evening. Are you with us at this time?
Yeah, good evening. I'm with you. Good evening.
All right, Mr. Gane. Okay, yeah, in just 2 minutes, can you just give us a brief introduction and, of course, your scholarship program?
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm a student advisor working with UNICAF Scholarship. So UNICAF is an organization that gives out partial scholarships to online distant learners. You can actually run the program from anywhere in the world. And UNICAF is partnering with 3 UK universities at the moment. The first one is Liverpool John Moores University. The second one is University of East London. And the last one is University of Suffolk. So they run this program for about 18 to 24 months. And you don't have to be online every day, just 2 to 3 times in a week. And you get to choose your study time yourself, either in the morning, afternoon, or at night, or sometimes even weekends, depending on how busy you are. So basically, that's all for now.
Okay, so Mr. Michael, for nursing, for example, which organization do you partner with to offer degree in nursing?
In nursing, Liverpool John Moores University.
Okay, so Liverpool John Moores University offers
masters in nursing here.
Okay. No, that's master bachelor degree.
Bachelor's degree, UNICAF University in Zambia and Malawi, but not nursing in particular, just something relating to nursing, healthcare management.
Oh yeah. There's one of your university. I think it's University of Suffolk. Okay, University of Suffolk under UNICAF offers bachelor degree.
No, not at all. Just that's if you are running a direct program with them, but the online program is just for masters.
Oh really? I'm going to check that again because I saw there was an affiliation with University of Suffolk for degree in nursing. Anyway, let's move ahead to masters in nursing. Apart from masters in nursing, what other healthcare related masters program do you have in UNICAF?
Okay, masters in public health.
Okay, masters in public health and masters in and general nursing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, what's the duration for the masters in nursing?
With me? It's about 18 to 24 months.
All right, 18 to 24 months. So, what's the school fees? Taking away the 70% scholarship, how much is the person expected to pay for the master's program?
Okay, running 70% right now due to the increase in cost of tuition fee. It will be about £5,000. That's the remaining 30%. It will be about £5,000, but it can be spread across the duration of the program. And the sweetest part about it is they make the installment payment to be quarterly. That you'll be making the payments every 4 months after your first deposit. And the minimum to start the program is about £500. Then you can spread the remaining payment quarterly. That's every 4 months.
Wow, can you be that? I mean, with £500, you could actually start your master's program in nursing, and the next time you're going to be requested to pay is after 4 months. I mean, Mr. Michael, if somebody is starting a master's program in UNICAF, what type of do they get access to gadgets to support them for their learning? Do you could give them a laptop, phone, or mobile device?
Okay. For applicants paying from £800 and above, you get a free tablet as an incentive from UNICAF.
Wow. So I mean, if you are paying your first deposit of
£800, yeah, you get a free tablet from UNICAF.
Oh, awesome, amazing. So so basically, if somebody wants to start the program right now, what do they need to do?
Just 3 steps. The first step will be to register and upload their credentials. And these are very easy credentials for them. One is their school certificate or the statement of results, a valid means of identification, an up-to-date CV that carries 2 referees with their name, their email address, and their phone number. And they'll need to write a statement of purpose. Most people know it as a statement. Are you with me?
All right, that's yeah, definitely. I mean, your CV, your personal statement,
yes,
your
valid means of identification. Then either WAEC or NECO results. Most people make use of IELTS sometimes, but it's not mandatory. Once you have your WAEC or NECO result, it stands as your proof of English.
Definitely, IELTS is not important. I mean, these are a lot of advantages, a lot of benefits. No IELTS, no stress of paying in full and stuff like that. And interestingly, to let you all know, I am also a Switch University of London John Moores University as well. So I've gone through the program and I must tell you, very, very flexible. The payment part. Mr. Michael, can you mute your mic?
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you that the payment program is actually very flexible, and of course, it is very, very accessible as well. I got a free tablet because then I paid £800 as my first school fees, and you can access up to out of 13, you can accept your first 4 module. So if if you're interested in registering for that, please send me a DM. We're going to send you a link, and of course, if you want assistance in getting statement of purpose, personal statement, I can help you with a draft for free, and you can go ahead with your application. Last word, Mr. Michael, before we allow you to take your rest.
Okay, I'm with you, please.
Okay, yeah. Say last word. Any final word for those or anybody? If you have any question to ask Mr. Michael, anybody, you can just use your emoji to raise your hand. If not, you're still gonna be here for the next 10 minutes, right?
Yes, I'll be here with you.
All right. So if you have any questions for Mr. Michael, please do well to come up on space, and we'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael.
All right.
You can meet your.
Thank you for having me too.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So that was Mr. Michael, one of the student advisor from UNICAF, telling us about how you can access partially funded MSc program for University of UNICAF. So if you're interested, Liverpool John Moores University, East London University, please do a TGM, and I'll give you a link to get the program started. All right, so we still have Eze Victor being in the house, and Isaiah Were here. I've been having conversation around nursing, healthcare, career, and they've been able to share their insights, share their remarkable story towards this afternoon. I mean, Eze Victor Obina, I know you actually said a bit of it, but I would like you to emphasize for people to actually have more clarity. Currently, despite being a registered nurse from Nigeria, despite being a UK RN as well, oh, sorry, excuse me. You are a Bachelor of Nursing degree holder, and you are doing a master's in nursing education and of course health. I'm very sure someone will be curious to know why MSc in public health and nursing education and not nursing science. Why did you jettison nursing science to go for nursing education and public health? Eze Victor.
Okay, when it comes to the choice of a master's degree program, most who focus on getting master's degree would want funding, right? So I was that person who was actually looking for funding and all that. So I came to understand that those who give out funding, they focus on developmental courses. Now, when we say developmental courses, I would always link it to sustainable development goals, but let's just move a little bit away from sustainable development goals. Let's not go too complex with it. They focus on courses that can solve specific problems. Now, they look at it, okay, in the power sector, what are the courses that solve problems related to power? What are the courses that solves related to tech? What are the courses that solves problems related to transportation, maternal and child health, health generally? What are they? So they try to break it down. Those courses are called developmental courses because it adds up to the system, the general system that runs every nation, the economy of every nation. You see someone who is applying to get a Commonwealth scholarship or a Chevening scholarship going for data science. You ask yourself, what is this person doing with data science? You see someone who is going for Commonwealth scholarship or Chevening scholarship going for a course like climatic change and all that. You ask yourself, what is this person going to do with this course? But these courses are courses that are actually globally relevant. All right. So this actually made me to come to a conclusion that if I would get a scholarship, I would have to focus on developmental courses. And for those of us in the health sector, global health, public health is one of the most convenient course when it comes to being developmental for every economy. Apart from wanting to study it for the sake of what I do in communities, community health projects, that's for public health. Then for nursing, you now have a background in nursing education. I was employed by Ebonyi State Ministry of Health to lecture in a school of nursing in Ebonyi State. I went in with my Bachelor of Science degree. Luckily for me, during the interview, I wouldn't want to go about the details of the interview, but I was just favored by having the Commissioner of Health present that day. So I just got his attention. So he just made a recommendation for me to be employed. with just my bachelor's degree, even when they specifically mentioned that you must have a diploma in education. So he gave me a condition that if I must continue with them, I would have to get a certification in nursing education. So I had a choice of going for a diploma, but I've always had this thing against diploma courses, be it diploma in accident and emergency, maternal, any diploma. I don't actually like it because I've already progressed from my BSc. No bad feeling for anybody who is doing a diploma degree program. Is an educational program, all right? But for me, I've already gotten my BSc, so the next thing should be a master's. So it was just open for me to just go for a master's degree program in nursing education and not nursing science. Now, nursing science, if you ask me, I don't know if Mr. Isaiah will want to throw a broader light on it. Nursing science is kind of broad, specific, and all that. But nursing is very much focused. You're going into the academic sector. You may take up administrative roles. You might progress into research, still under education, maybe to research about curriculum development and all that. But for now, if you ask me, it's way too broad. And I would want to focus on the smallest niches, which is why I went for nursing education.
Thank you very much, Victor. I mean, I think this is a symposium discussion, and I like the fact that you're able to narrow it down. I mean, people take masters nowadays for different reasons, and I like the fact that you were very, very strategic with yours. I mean, number one, you run an organization is in line with the SDG 3, which is access to equitable healthcare for people across every stage of their development. And as the founder of the organization, it's going to be very, it's going to be a good move for you as well to carry out a master's in public health. So, guys, when you're choosing a master's program, it's not basically about which one is popular, which one is cookies. Because most time, so I got to my DM book and like, please, sir, which master's is cheapest to do? What is the cheapest master's to do in nursing? Which master's will I finish on time? Those are not the criteria to choose a master's degree. The master's degree that you choose to do on time. I mean, I saw a post last week on pulse.ng, and it was a 45-year-old guy crying on social media that imagine he has masters but he does not have a job. Normally, an average Nigeria would want to feel bad and feel like, oh wow, Nigeria is not good, Nigeria is not good. But for me, as a career coach and human capital development expert, in 2022, I went to do a background check, and I checked that the guy did a master's in animal husbandry. He did a master's in animal husbandry. With 2022 right now, with the future of work, with the dynamics of exposure and orientation, master's in animal husbandry, and you are living in southwest area of Nigeria, of course, it will not get you a job. What are you expecting? Animal husbandry in those states, in Nigeria. If you are in Australia, fine. If you are in Poland, fine. If you are in other European countries, that's fine. But not in Nigeria. So you see people crying on who have done there's no job. What type of masters did you do? What were your consideration before you go into that masters? You do a master's degree to align with your personal vision in life. If it is business, for example, somebody like me, I'm a nurse executive. I do a master's in business administration. Oh, if you like education and you like teaching, you do a master's in nursing education. If you have an organization like Eze Victor and you want to have all the track record of like, okay, you have the experience and you have the education, you do a master's in public health. If you like IT, you want to go into tech, you want to start managing organizational data, you do a master's in data science, or you do a master's in public health and focus on data management. So when I come online and coming to ask questions like, what's the cheapest master's? What's the fastest master's to do? What master's will I get? Those are not the criteria to start a master's degree, guys. A master's degree, number one, must have the potential to you earn, either directly or indirectly through business and collaboration. For me, I can't do a master's in nursing science. Why? Because I'm not a nurse clinician by orientation. I'm a nurse, I have my license, but by my orientation and by my level of interest, I'm not interested in clinical nursing. So it would be wrong for me to say, okay, I'm going to do a master in nursing science. If I have a plan to become a nurse manager, I want to manage a hospital as the chief nurse, then I can do a master's in nursing science or a master's in healthcare administration or healthcare management. So the type of master's you do must align with, number one, your personal goal in life, either for individual or others. Then number two, you must have opportunity with that master's. Okay, you're doing a master's in nursing science. You are tired of bedside nursing and you are doing a master in, let me say, medical surgical nursing, and you are tired in bedside nursing. That is role conflict. That is conflict of interest. You cannot be tired of bedside nursing and you are doing a master's in medical surgical nursing. Or you say, oh, I'm tired of working in NHS. I'm tired of working in this A&E. And you went ahead to go and do masters in A&E nursing because you is the cheapest. These are some of the fundamental mistakes that nurses make that will make them continue to feel burdened and feel stressed every day. And at the end of the day, when you are tired, you go on vacation. You go on vacation and you come back to meet that same stress right there at work. So guys, you must be strategic, as Victor has mentioned. You must be strategic. Do not follow the crowd. Do not follow the crowd. Oh, this is what they are doing now. University of Derby, let me go. You don't even know what they are doing in University of Derby. You don't even know how much they are paying for school fees. But because your friends are going to the University of Derby, you are going to the University of Derby. Oh, it's University of Sunderland. Oh, Derby and Sunderland, which one is cheaper? Why are you going to Derby? Why are you going to Sunderland? There's one trust around the West Midland in the UK that very, very popular. I don't want to call the name of the trust. If you get to that trust, they're going to tell you something like, we give you access to a bachelor's degree in nursing. That's part of their package that interests international recruited nurses. They're going to tell you that we're going to give you, you're going to get free access to BSc in nursing or masters in nursing. But at the end of the day, when they get there, they realize that it is not actually masters in nursing science or BSc in nursing. It is actually BSc in healthcare, some healthcare studies management or healthcare management studies, something like that. So you must try as much as possible to be able to gain practical insights. I have the like of Ogbeni Tosin. Good to have you here, CEO Fellow Nurses Africa. We have the like of Owoye, Isaiah Dada. We have the likes of Prince Wilaredo, Eze Victor Obina. These are guys that you can see on the social media space that have demonstrated record in advising people on career, academics, and education. So please, guys, before you start any master's degree, it's not enough to ask which one is the cheapest. It's not enough to ask which one is the quickest. It's not enough to ask which one people are doing. But the master's degree you are doing must allow you to be able to earn in future, not just now. Earn in future and not just now. Right now,
hello, sorry.
Are you there?
Hello.
Oh, you want to say something?
Okay, yeah. Okay. I want to share my real life experience as regards this. One of my lecturers in the school then used to tell us that it seems somehow that you finish first degree and you are now chasing certificates up and down, that you want to do anesthesia, you want to do that. Why don't you think of that thing at a postgraduate level with masters? And I think this orientation has been with me by the time I was a nurse tutor at the School of Psychiatric Nursing, Aro, Abeokuta. So we were employed because, when the desirable is not available, the available become the desirable. They needed nurse educator and also someone with someone who will be a registered mental health nurse. So I was a degree. I have a degree and also a registered nurse educator, but no certification in mental health. So, but the institution where the institution was training people then, so that the lecturers will have to do these certificate courses, So we sent some to Yaba, some are also doing in Aro. But I proposed in my mind that it's either I leave this system, I will not sit down in that class as a student. My ogas, my seniors who were teaching together were actually doing the same thing. But I made up my mind that this is not my thing. This is not what I want. If I'm to do mental health, I will have to do it at postgraduate level. MSc, you cannot present masters in mental health and a certificate in mental health and a dump will pick a certificate course. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So eventually, I had it in mind that if they will not allow me to do masters and they want to subject me to certificate course, I would rather resign and find my level. So at the end of the day, I was able to go on study leave without pay to University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So my master's in mental health. So as soon as I was through with the master's in mental health, a circular came up from Nursing Council that those who had first masters in mental health can now write exam, okay, can now write a professional exam. So at the end of the day, I had my master's and I wrote the certificate exam and I passed. So at the end of the day, I was able to get two things at the same time. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I spent, although, we spend more in a master's level, but it's an anomaly. 18 months is for master's, 18 months is also for this certificate course. So one should now weigh the options. So my interest is that I want to be in the academic environment. I want to be in the university. So if I had opted for certificate course, I will not be employed at Afe Babalola University where I worked then. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's just, one should just be strategic, just like you said, and know what you want. Be propelled by your interest that this is where I'm going and this is what I want to do. Do not face any distraction. Thank you.
Definitely, rightly said. You must be prepared by your interest, and of course, do not face any distraction. I mean, you're going to feel a lot of distraction. Courses coming to you at diploma level. I mean, you can move ahead to masters. I mean, one of the best investments in knowledge always pays the best interest. That was one of the mighty quote by Benjamin Franklin. Uma Christie, I think she wanted to contribute to the topic, and I don't know if it's a question you have. Christie, you can unmute your mic and speak, please. 2 minutes.
Not really a question. I wanted to share my experience as well regarding this topic because this is very essential. I think now the focus has really shifted from I graduated from nursing, I want to get a master's in nursing. In the universities, some of the universities in UK, I came to realize that if you're applying for a BSc in any of the university, they don't make it look like BSc nursing. In each of the sections, you have things like BSc adult nursing, BSc pediatric nursing, BSc midwifery, BSc mental health. They've subdivided the courses into different sections to kind of give you a clue on what you really want. So yeah, my personal experience at this point, when I came to the UK, trust me, I don't think I definitely wanted to work in the bedside for a long period of time. It's very stressful and demanding. So what I did then, I started researching, how can I become a trainer? How can I become an educator in the trust? When I went on Google, I started searching. I had a few conversations with my colleagues, and because this is in my area of interest, anything you ever choose to do in life, you have to be interested in that. You have to be passionate about it. Like you said, you wouldn't just do this because people are doing it. You will do this because you wouldn't just do this because people are doing it. You want to do it because this is what you actually want. So I started researching, looking for courses to do. Luckily, I got a sponsor from my trust and I was able to do a course in education. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, at the end of the day, I got a role. A role came up and I got the role to be an educator in my trust. Yeah, I'm still passionate about clinical sides, clinical, patient bed side, but I had to divide my days. Those days I'm not working on the ward, I'm teaching. So when you're choosing whatever subject or topic you want to choose, consider what the future plan of those things you're choosing will be for you. I've seen people do masters in what's it called? I've seen people do masters in jurisprudence, which is that girl is working currently in the UK and she's even earning more than nursing. I've seen people do masters in a lot of courses in different areas, masters in urology, so that even when those opportunities come up, you're at an advantage. Nobody will say, because when a job opportunity comes up, of course you have to meet the necessary criteria. So if you don't meet any of those ones, there's no how they are going to give you the job. So whatever masters or whatever field you feel you want to do your masters in, it should have to be a place that's relevant to you as a person, relevant to you in the future. So that's just my take.
Thank you very much, Uma Christie. I mean, Uma Christie is one of my best friends in nursing profession worldwide. I think last year she got to know that I started my master's, and she was like, "Prince, you started your master's?" I said, "Yes, I started my master's." And she was like, she told me, and I will never forget her. She said, "I can swear that it is not master's in nursing science." I said, "Definitely, you are one of my best friends."
Let me see what I said. I said I can bet with my kidneys that you're doing a master's in public health.
Yeah,
that was what
definitely. Yeah, you actually said you can bet it's not nursing science at first. So I was like, of course. I mean, your friends would even know that, if you are doing something wrong, your friends will be able to advise you, like, you care. Prince, we are doing master. Let me say I'm doing masters in infection control now. Like, you should be able to look at me and be like, infection control. Like, you come on now, you should be doing an MBA, or you should probably be doing a master's in business strategy.
Don't forget.
Yeah, so I mean, guys, it's very, very important that you have all of this information. The idea of this Twitter space is to constantly educate nurses. I mean, we have the likes of Ogbeni Tosin. If you go on his profile right now, you're going to see right there that he has MSc in View Healthcare Leadership. Of course, Ogbeni Tosin has been a young nurse leader from Nigeria, and a leader in terms of advocacy, in terms of mentorship, in terms of nursing education, and of course in promoting nursing through digital communication. So I mean, someone like Ogbeni Tosin, if you hear that he's probably doing a master's, let's say in nursing, phlebotomy or something like that, you should be surprised. I mean, Tosin should be going for a master's in healthcare administration, a master's in healthcare leadership, a master's in nursing administration, and you can see with less than 2 years in the UK, he's already a Royal College of Nursing representative. I mean, whatever you are, will always find to display itself at one point or the other. I think Ogbeni Tosin is happy to join us on the space. Good to have you. If you are not following Ogbeni Tosin, please follow Tosin. Follow Azikowoye, follow Uma Christie, follow Eze Obina. I know every day is not about career, every day is not about work, every day is not about education, but trust, at the end of the day, all the Twitter bans, at the end of all the rolling and coups on social media, you are still going to get back to your shell. You're still going to get back to your life and say, what exactly am I doing with my life? What exactly am I doing with my career? And hence, it is very, very important for us to hold this type of space almost every time to remind us again that while we are chilling, while we are flexing, while we are in a new country, because the truth is that it is very, very easy to lose focus when you come to a new country. I can bear that with you. I mean, I've traveled and I've worked across four continents in the world right now. I can tell you it is very, very easy for you to lose confidence when you are in a new country. I mean, you now have access to millions in your account. You now have access to travel the whole world. You now have a bucket list of places to go on vacation. You now have friends that are ready to take you around in the UK, across all the states, in the US, across all the 51 states. It's very, very easy for you to lose focus. And of course, sometimes it's very important for you to remind yourself that your next level is dependent on the quality of information, the quality of education that you are currently having right now. That's why once in a while we hold this space to advocate for nurses, to enlighten nurses, and of course share practical insights on how people can make the rest of their lives the best of their life. I will allow Ogbeni Tosin to share his own insight, share his own perspective, and one nursery is joining towards becoming a future master holder in healthcare management from the prestigious University of Hull. Ogbani Tosin, over to you, Kegsman.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to you. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're listening to me. Prince Wee, thank you for the opportunity. You're actually doing a great job. Mr. Obina Ogaditov, it's a pleasure to share this space with you. My boss, Mr. Weye, I think it was yesterday that I saw at this mentorship organization, and I saw where that you're now in South Africa. I was really impressed. Good to see you on this platform as well. All right, so quickly, I think Mr. Victor and Prince we as so many things when it comes to having masters in nursing, advancing our career. And I'm really glad that our eyes as nurses are beginning to open to opportunities in having our master's education. Before now it has been you finish your school of nursing, you want to go to accident and emergency nurse, you want to go and be ICU nurses, but now there have been so many information at our disposal, and many nurses are now seeing it, to advance our education at the master's postgraduate levels. All right, so basically, when you want to, pick a course, you want to go for postgraduate education, I think one thing that is important is for you to first ask yourself, what is your career goal? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What do you want to be? If you are able to provide an answer to that question, honestly, that is going to guide you on what you need to do when it comes to going for a postgraduate program. In my own case, like Prince we had mentioned, I run an organization in Nigeria, the Fellow Nurses Africa, and I'm the chairman organization. So based on that role, it's requires me to have like a leadership experience. Not only that, a leadership qualification, to be able to manage and run that organization effectively. And not only that, I'm a kind of person that I have so much interest in leadership. There's been so many researches carried out, and then the importance of nursing leadership cannot be overemphasized. When you take a look at what is happening in the world today, let's take UK as an example. You see what is happening to Boris Johnson is as a result of his leadership ability. When you go to Nigeria and you see what is happening in Nigeria, you discover one of our major problems in that country is as a result of leadership. So when you take a look at countries in Africa and others, you see leadership is very important. Now bringing it to nursing, I am a leader in nursing, but when you take a look at some theories in leadership, talking about great man theory, it was talking about that leaders, are born. But there are some people who have come to counter that. Leaders are not only born, leaders are made. So it's not only important for you to have you have leadership traits. No, you have to be able to have academic qualification. You have to be able to go to school and learn the acts of leadership before you can say you are now an effective leader, because before you can say you'll be able to make an effective leader. And that is what actually influenced my decision to go to pursue a postgraduate degree in healthcare leadership, because I believe I am a nurse. If I have a postgraduate certificate in healthcare leadership, it's going to open windows of opportunity for me to be able to take up leadership position. Talking about you want to take leadership position in the NHS, or you want to take a look at the global leadership, WHO and others, that is going to give you opportunities, and that is what actually influenced my decision to pursue that course. So the reason why I'm saying this, like I said earlier, is for us to know that before we say we want to take a leadership a course, a postgraduate, able to understand who we are and what we want to do and our career goal is very necessary. It's not because you've seen people going for masters in public health and then you think that is what is in vogue now. Then you go there, or you see people going for masters in nursing education and you have gone there. No, it's not only about that. It's about what you want to do, what actually interests you. So myself, as an example, that is what actually brought my interest for healthcare, masters in healthcare leadership. So that is about my own personal experience. Once again, thank you for the platform, Prince Way.
Thank you very much, Ogbeni Oluwatosi Kes Baba. I mean, if you're not for Tosin, you guys should follow him. He's one of the most inspirational career coach on social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and of course on Facebook as well. So follow Ogbeni Tosin. He is a leader, and of course he has showed trait. And of course his organization, Fellow Oscar, they are responsible and they are the starter of the annual Nurse Ministry Excellence Award. And of course, they have been consistent in advocating for nurses. And the Charge Them Young program that we see across our various zones was also started by Fellow Nurses Africa. I mean, these guys they've been leading, they've been showing exemplary leadership. And of course, we are happy that they're also taking that leadership to the United Kingdom. A leader, like it said, is not just born. Nowadays, you must rudiment the education and training. Myself, I cannot just say, I'm a nurse advocate in Nigeria. Do you know who I am? I'm Prince Ularedo. Or God, what do you have to show for it? You have to first of all put something down, like a certification or a degree. People can now be, at least they're going to be convinced that, okay, yes, you have this thing. Then they're not going to start observing your traits and observing your capacity to see if you actually have that exemplary leadership style to deliver your mandate. Thank you very much, Ogbeni Tosin. We have Oyewole Arinze from Nurses Got Talent. I'm sure you have a contribution or a question to ask. 2 minutes, please, Oyewole Arinze. Nurses Got Talent.
This is not Oyewole Arinze. This is Mark Andy.
Hey, Mark. Ogbeni Tosin, please, can you mute your mic, please, if you don't mind? Ogbeni Tosin, please, can you mute your mic? The feedback for your ends. I think he's having the feedback, so just mute your mic. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. I mean, Mark, good to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you. I think it's afternoon in the US at this time.
Yeah, this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Oh, yeah, good afternoon. I mean, I need to introduce you properly. I mean, a lot of us must have heard of Nurses Got Talent at one point or the other. Nurses Got Talent is one of the leading organizations in Nigeria as well. They have been supporting nursing in terms of bringing out the capacity development, and of course, social responsibility. The organization have been involved in distributing palliative and relief material to primary school students, secondary school students, and of course, they've sponsored various events in Nigeria, the Nurses Got Talent dance competition, Nurses Got Talent initiative, and several donations to people as a corporate social responsibility. And of course, the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder is right here on our space, Mr. Makandi Junwa. I can't pronounce that your last name. I can't pronounce that your last name. And joined us all the way from the USA. Good to have you, Mr. Mark. The mic is yours. Thank you very much. You can unmute your mic and speak now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prince. I also want to appreciate you for organizing programs like this, and they are very, very educative. Concerning the education and career development in nursing, I would say we should start from our nursing school. I feel like there should be more enlightenment and educational activities to encourage students from nursing school on career development, because back then in nursing school, no one ever taught us like, after nursing school, this is what you should do next, this is where you should go next. Try to go through a career that you would love, or go through like a department or a subsection of nursing that you'll be interested in, or try to find out what you would love or what you'd be interested in. most people just went, right? The ladies went from School of Nursing to midwifery and then, try to find out what else they want to do. So most times I find nurses these days trying to figure out where they belong and what they want to do for their life. They just probably go with the crowd. As for me, from nursing school, I've always wanted to become a preoperative nurse from my first day in the OR. And I made sure I followed it to this particular time. I think I only worked on the ward for like probably 2 months. I've always wanted preoperative nursing. And that is all I've gone through, and that is all I've always wanted to do. So I feel like we should start educating nursing students that after nursing or while you're in nursing school, when you're doing your clinical rotations, try to go to those when you're going through all this department like surgery, OR nursing, ward units, try and figure out what you want. From practicing there, you get to see what is being done there and see if it aligns with what you want to do in future. And when it also says something like, before you go into masters or go into something, look at yourself in 5 years. Like, what do you want to become in the next 5 years? And that would help in making your decisions. I also want to ask is it the UNICAF guy? I know someone who actually got admitted into the Suffolk University for bachelor's. So I want to be sure. He made a statement saying the Suffolk University doesn't do bachelor's in nursing. So I want to be sure, is the person actually doing the right thing, or probably is the person being scammed presently? So that's my question and that's my contribution. Thank you so much, Principal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mark. Definitely good to have you. Good to hear your voice. Good to learn your voice on the space tonight. And you said something very, very instrumental. I mean, leadership development, career pathway should be an integral part of nursing curriculum across schools and colleges of nursing in Nigeria. I mean, back then in high school or secondary school, we usually have what we call G&C department. Those of us that went to boarding school or non-boarding school, you have a guidance and counseling department. Once you're done with your JSTV exam, you're going to start saying, okay, are you going to go to science class? Are you going to go to engineering class? Or are you going to arts class? So, I mean, if we can have that for secondary school, we should also have that for nursing as well. I mean, it's not enough to write the counselor exam to be a nurse. You must be a nurse with an orientation of the type of nurse that you want to be, so you do not just become a regular nurse. There should be a section, there should be a department, there should be a special unit where students are refined to understand the areas that are good, and not just clinical area. I'm happy, I think it was in 2015, NMCN introduced entrepreneurship and management into the school curriculum back then. I think I'm very aware of that. And of course, the curriculum have gone through a series of rebranding, and we are very happy with that. And as stakeholders, we can continue to advise the NMCN to continue to rebrand and, of course, innovate ideas to help reshape, refine nurses into becoming not just clinical nurses, but of course, entrepreneurs, innovators, that their knowledge and experience can fit into the 21st century realization. At some nursing school, people are still being used, they still use subjects like bed making, urine testing as a yardstick to write OSCE exam before you pass. Who does urine making nowadays? Who does urine testing with what do they use? Those chemicals, Benedict solution, and all those things. People don't use that anymore. With the innovation of urine strip, what is the scientific rationale of compelling people to learn Benedict solution strip for 21st century civilization? What's the yardstick of bed making? Oh, you must make bed very well before you could actually pass, when those roles are actually not taken over by care assistants, social workers, and personal support workers. What are the scientific rationale? Bed making came in the days of Florence Nightingale, where there was no access to drop a note for a patient, and you can just slot in a card under the envelope corner, and of course, you can read your envelope when you're awake. Those are no longer invoked. So we must continue to follow the tide. We must continue to rebrand to ensure that the nurses that we are graduating are able to meet with 21st century demand. I mean, nursing school students are graduating. It's going to require extra innovators like Prince Will Biodun to now start bringing BLS training to nursing school. A student will go through nursing school for 3 years and you cannot use an AED. You cannot perform CPR. You do not understand manual handling, and you are graduating from a nursing school that says you are competent to work in a global workforce. If not because the NHS probably have a very robust budget that accommodates training of international nurses, many of us would have been sent back in the first week we arrived in the UK. And that's the truth. This is not me trying to be rude here. It's actually the truth. So our NMCN, our leadership in nursing, we are the leaders. I mean, NMCN is not just Farouk or Filade or Bola Ofi. NMCN is all nurses, like Isaiah Were here tomorrow, or Bernie Tosin tomorrow, Obina tomorrow, Christy tomorrow can be can have a slot to work in the NMCN. So we must start preparing ourselves for that leadership role by also knowing what is happening and, of course, gaining real life ideas of what it looks like to run a competent nursing and midwifery council, just like NMC UK. Thank you so much, guys, for joining so far. We still have Eze Victor Obina, Isaiah Woye, our star guest, and of course, other contributors, Christy Ogbeni Tosin, and Makandi. We're going to go straight to you again, Obina Victor, Eze. I mean, with your experience right now, we're still talking about masters and advancing global education and training in nursing. And I know right now you're currently studying your masters in the UK and stuff like that. You're on the fully funded scholarship from Commonwealth scholarship. I mean, before I even go ahead, do you mind to tell nurses right here about Commonwealth scholarship? Because I'm very, very sure many nurses are never aware of the Commonwealth shared scholarship. So in just 2 minutes, I want you to share light on 5 scholarships that nurses could actually access, whether they are resident in Nigeria or resident in the UK, that probably they can access and get fully or partial scholarship. I know you've talked about Commonwealth. I want you to also talk about things like the Chevening scholarship, the Erasmus scholarship, and all of that scholarship for healthcare professionals. So, as Victor Obina, what are scholarship available? What are the requirements, and what do they need to start gathering right now to be able to get the scholarship exam?
Okay, yeah, quickly in 2 minutes. There are so many scholarships you can apply to as a nurse. Now, what you would consider is there are scholarships that are fully funded, there are scholarships that are partially funded. There are scholarships that are given by the school. Let me say you're applying to study in a school in Canada, a school in UK. The first thing you should do, as a matter of fact, is if you're interested in getting funding, is any school you are interested in applying in, go to the part of their websites where you have funding. Go to the part of their website where you have scholarships. Check if you are eligible for scholarship as an international student. Now, it could be just £2,000 or 2,000 Canadian dollars or US dollars. It may not be the total school fees, but at the end of the day, it would help. Now, once you've ruled that out, let me say you're not eligible. The next thing you will look at is that country you're going to study, is the government of that country, do they have any relationship or affiliate relationship own country to provide funding to students coming from your country? I know of Japan. They have one relationship with Nigeria to provide funding to students. I know of the UK. They have relationship through the Commonwealth scholarship, through the Chevening scholarship. I know of US, they have relationship through the Fulbright program and all that. So once you've ruled that out too, then you now look for specific scholarship. It could just be random scholarship from an organization. It could be scholarship that is supporting the female child to go to school and all that. So it all depends on you to do the searching. All right. It's just that most of us will just stay in our comfort zone. We don't go online and dig. Australia, for instance, offers over $200 million to international students to come and study nursing in Australia. You can go and check that out online. Most persons are not aware of this. $200 million to international students who are interested in studying nursing. Norway, for instance, offers tuition fee, which is free for both their own students and international students. Let me say you're interested in studying in Norway. You don't have tuition fee. It's free, just like it is for the Norway citizens. And you're studying nursing, you have an opportunity to stay back. If you're studying nursing, they will teach you in English. Other courses, they teach other courses in Norwegian language. I don't know what it is, but nursing specifically and some other courses that they know that attracts international applicants and professionals, they teach in English and they provide tuition-free fees to international students. Now, talking about 5 specifically, I'll start with the Commonwealth Scholarship, the one I'm in. The Commonwealth Scholarship is a scholarship by Great Britain, the UK government. Now, we know that Great Britain, they have provinces which we call the Commonwealth countries. Nigeria is one of them. Ghana is one of them. Jamaica is one of them. Barbados is one of them. These are countries that were colonized by Great Britain that Great Britain has colonies in these nations. Now, some of these countries, Great Britain has 100% relationship with them. Let me say Barbados. The Queen is still recognized as the leader of Barbados. Why for countries like Nigeria, it is just the relationship. All right. So Commonwealth scholarship meets the academic need of international students from these countries. So as a Nigerian, you're eligible to apply for Commonwealth scholarship. Now, application differs in every year. We have Commonwealth shared scholarship. We have Commonwealth distant learning scholarship. We have Commonwealth scholarship for medical students and professionals. And if you check it, you are for all of them as a nurse. You are eligible for Commonwealth shared scholarship. It comes up at a specific time of the year, mostly around August. We have Commonwealth scholarship for medical students. You're a medical student, you're a medical practitioner. We have Commonwealth distance learning scholarship, which is the one I'm taking. You can stay anywhere and take this program. Presently, I'm doing an online degree program. I can do it from Nigeria or anywhere I want to do it from. So that is Commonwealth scholarship. Then eligibility criteria for this scholarship is just like every other scholarship. You have to write essays. You have to submit your CVs. You answer some questions that will test your leadership abilities, that will test how far you've provided community service, how far you've contributed or impacted in your community. They just want to see that impacts you've made over the years. It may be in your community, it may be in your profession and all that. Then we have Chevening Scholarship. Apart from Commonwealth Scholarship, we also have Chevening Scholarship. UK government also. It's also similar to the Commonwealth Scholarship. What differs is the funding. Now, both the Commonwealth Scholarship and the Chevening Scholarship, they are being organized by the UK government. From your application to your visa application to the interview sections, everything is done to the UK embassy. Now they would give you conditions. Okay, come take this course, stay for 2 years, go back to your countries and all that. Now, sometimes these rules are stringent, sometimes they are flexible over certain conditions. You have to understand the process so that you will not fall a victim because they operate with their embassy and all that. Now, apart from the Chevening Scholarship, which provides you with funding, this scholarship, including Commonwealth Scholarship, also provides you with tuition, with stipends. Every month they provide you with stipends. Now, guys, Chevening Scholarship, for instance, provides you with stipends that is almost same with what you earn as a NHS staff. Let me say you have a Chevening Scholarship. They pay an average of £1,400 per month.
NHS salary in the mod.
Honestly.
NHS salary in the mod.
They are still paying for your school fees. You still have an opportunity to work for 20 hours as a student, even while they are still paying you. So the opportunities are just enormous. You have an opportunity to join a network of leaders. Now, I will tell people that scholarship is not just about you getting an education. It is about you joining a network. We have John Momo. He was once a Chevening scholar. We have the former MD of First Bank. He was once a Chevening scholar. We have some politicians in Nigeria, some presidents of countries. They were all Chevening scholar. You see, some of them will come out like a bragging right. I was once a Chevening scholar. I was once a Fulbright scholar and all that. Now, there is one of the persons who is contesting for the Prime Minister position of the UK. The one who is actually in loggerheads with the female contender. He's a Fulbright scholar. He's there in his profile scholar. So sometimes it's not just the academic you're gaining with this scholarship. It's the positioning that comes with it. It's the network you're joining with it. Tomorrow I will come out, I will say I'm a Commonwealth scholar. Today I'm saying I'm a Mandela Washington fellow. All right. So sometimes it's not about the program. It's what happens after the program. Is the people you're able to connect with. So beyond funding, you are also getting a support system that will last you for a long time. Support system in your profession, support system outside your profession. Now, outside Commonwealth and Chevening, we have the Fulbright Scholarship, which is that for America. If you want to study in America, they provide funding. The American government, American Department of State, provide funding to students in Nigeria and other less privileged nations. Then we have Erasmus Mundus scholarship, where you are not just taking your scholarship in one country. You're taking a course in public health, for instance. You have opportunity to travel to some other countries around that region. Now, Erasmus Mundus scholarship is taken mostly in European nations. You can get admission in Norway. From Norway, you're studying in the Netherlands. From the Netherlands, you're studying in Germany. Just one academic program, you have an experience in 3 different countries. That's one thing I like about Erasmus Mundus scholarship. Then apart from that, we also have so many other scholarships that are specific to, there is this one in China now, I can't remember the name. It is highly prestigious. I can't remember the name now. Then we have, just like I mentioned earlier, we have school-based scholarship, which is mostly due to merit, which is mostly given to those from disadvantaged countries and all that. Universities, they give scholarship. Go to the university website, check for funding, the part of the website where you have funding, check out the scholarships you have there, see if you're eligible, and follow up with the ACEs. I've talked more than 2 minutes, guys.
Victor Obina, thank you very much. I mean, I think a lot of people were actually surprised about Commonwealth giving as much as 1,600. The truth is that many of our people, I mean, many of our colleagues, we like the most popular things. So most times we're actually not open to getting new information. Most times, like for this Commonwealth scholarship, Chevening scholarship, one of the most prominent area on Chevening, like we know Chevening is divided into 5 areas. All the major area is strengthening healthcare system globally. And that is the part where we are expecting nurses around the world to get, guess what, Victor? Among doctors, nurses, lab scientists, nurses have the least enrollment, benefactor into that category. Guess people that are taking it? Pharmacists, lab scientists, physiotherapists, radiologists. They are now climbing high to even have more entry into promoting a healthcare system globally. And it's actually very, very sad. I mean, we have a scholarship there that's providing you as much as £20,000 free. It's not just with 1,600 for monthly stipend. You have access to warm clothing. If you're on winter, they're going to give you clothes for winter. If you're in summer, they're going to give you clothes for summer. Okay, and the only thing why probably people might not actually fancy those scholarships is because it has one clause, Victor. You didn't say that part. You want to talk about the clause? So it actually has a clause where you say most times when you're done with scholarship, you have to go back to your home country and at least have
what to say.
No. That's what so many persons see as a disadvantage, but there is a way to work around it. Most persons, immediately after they are through with that program, they will start another one. Now, once they've started another one, you see people who got sponsorship for a master's degree program because of the impact of their work. They are getting another sponsorship for a PhD program. Before you know it, after the PhD, they are staying back. All right, because even the government, to an extent, needs this to work with them, because this clause is return to your country for 2 years or so before coming back to the UK. Now, your PhD, you're taking 5 years to do your PhD. You've breached that clause already. So the clause at the end of the day may not really apply after your PhD program. So that's how people work around it at the end of the day. Why some others, what they do is after their course in the UK, they go to another country, maybe US. Once, I will always say it in every space and that I get the opportunity to speak in, just one opportunity would open door to numerous other opportunities. You've gotten a scholarship to study in the UK. Just send an application. Don't put in much effort to another application in the US. They'll be the ones sending you cold messages, asking you when you're coming to join them. This is out of a personal experience with a friend. She got Commonwealth scholarship. Before the end of her program, she already applied for an MBA in the US. Only what she stressed herself with was just applying for the visa. They were following her up. When are you coming to join us? Because they know this girl is an asset through the Commonwealth scholarship. She's an asset already. Just one opportunity would open doors for so many others.
Definitely, Victor. I mean, I've quoted this word you've said many times on my status and on my LinkedIn page. And you told me for the first time, that was in 2019. You said Prince Will, if you can gain access into one reputable international fellowship organization or scholarship institution, you are definitely going to have access to more information. And in 2019, when I was selected among 12 nurses around the world to attend the Pre-World Assembly Congress in Switzerland in 2020, that opportunity came with access to free flight tickets, free flight tickets, stipend for 1 week for leaving your workplace. Then what else again? Traveling allowance, and of course conference dues as well. After joining that after that nursing encounter in 2020, I know recently many of us have seen things like, oh, Prince Will is now a nursing fellow. Prince Will won an award in global nursing. Victor, that award that I won was not because I'm the best nurse in Nigeria or because I work part for Nigeria. It was within that professional network of nursing and global. On our platform one day, they just sent a message. Oh yeah, it was from my email. So we are opening award nomination for all the nursing fellows. Bring up your work. They brought different category: innovation, communication, research, advocacy. If you know you have done work in your respective countries, submit your article, submit your publication, not more than 2,000 words, and let's see if you're going to be shortlisted for the award. That's how that award came about. They didn't just come to Nigeria and start saying, where is the nurse that is taking care of Nigerian nurses? No, it was through a professional cycle. It was through a cycle of like people that are already doing things before, so you can gain your foot into one of those professional associations or one of those international fellowship. You are definitely going to get access to much more. CSA Victor Obinna, for example, now he is the Mandela Washington Fellow. Former Washington Fellow, he's a Commonwealth scholar, and of course, he has tried Chevening and has tried a lot of them. So just try as much as possible yourself into one. Trust me, your level of orientation, the way you see nursing will be very, very different. Like I was telling people the other day, people talk in our last page, talk about how to manage burden in working across NHS as an international nurse and how to explore opportunities beyond the bedside. I was telling them that the best way for you to do this is like, you should not just be tired of saying, okay, I'm tired of bedside nursing. I'm tired of working in the hospital. I'm tired of this NHS job. It's stressful, this and this. Yes, it can be stressful, but what is your exit plan out of this job? What is your exit plan out of the clinical nursing? What is your exit plan out of the type of environment that you are? You have to start planning, okay, I'm very good at project management. I'm very good at healthcare education. I'm very good at healthcare research. Probably let me go and start looking for roles around healthcare. Okay, for example, like me, I'm in project management, and if I was tired, I was tired of working in the NHS as a clinical nurse, I would go on and say, project management role, what are the requirements? I'll say, okay, you need to have a PMI certificate, or you need to have a 2 years experience managing a project, or you need to have data science certificate, I need to have one recommendation letter from a project you've done before. I will put that into consideration and start working on attending the courses, start attending the program. In my mind, I would not feel so much stress whenever I'm in the NHS because I know that I'm already curating a pathway to actually leave the NHS. I'm so excited. Okay, while I'm doing this job, something great is coming. Something great is coming. And at the end of the day, you are able to smoothly navigate and move out of it and get into something that's much more comfortable for you. So guys, it's not enough for us to just say, oh, we are tired of this, we are tired of that. You have to have an exit plan. Like Victor said before, when we ask people, why don't you want to get your degree in the NHS? Why don't you want to do your master? You say, I'm comfortable. And Victor said something very profound. He said, you must have options. You cannot say, okay, because the NHS does not value the degree or masters, you're going to limit yourself to that. No, you are not the NHS. You're only a staff member of the NHS. Tomorrow, you can work somewhere else. I mean, your orientation should not be NHS inclined. Your highest level of professional development should not be in the NHS. The NHS is just a system in England. You must be able to see above NHS for you to imbibe the culture of self-inspired, continuous capacity development for yourself as an individual and create a pathway for your career as well. So guys, it's very important we put this topic into heart and of course learn from this expert this evening. Isaiah, you were raising your hand. I think it was when Victor was contributing about scholarship. You wanted to chip in something. Mr. Isaiah, over to you, please.
All right, thank you. Please, I will not want to stretch much on the issue of the scholarship. I think Eze Obinna has talked more on that. But I just want to emphasize this, that people should just try as much as possible to explore the internet. People should follow those who are really into posting of a scholarship. I know most of us are aware of this man, Ogbeni Dipo, okay? Ogbeni Dipo, somebody like Olumuyiwa in Canada. Those ones post something, they post opportunities, scholarship. And when you are looking at all those scholarship, try as much as possible. If you are the one that you don't really want to go back to Nigeria, try and screen the one you want for yourself. And let me give us these tips also. I actually tried Penn State University. I want to know how many of us are aware in 2020 when WHO stated that the year of the nurse, there was a scholarship in a particular school, University of Salford. How many of us are aware? How many applied to that for that kind of opportunity? And you can only see this by the time you explore the internet and all of that. So we should try as possible to follow and go with the ties. In most of those Scandinavian countries now, I know there is a tuition free. Finland, Norway, Sweden, and all of that. We will still have free education in that environment. You only take care of your living expenses and all of that. So people should be thinking towards that end. And let me tell us that in Africa here, in South Africa, there are schools that you will not pay a dime, even as a student. There are schools that you will come and you will be earning, even as a student. For example, University of KwaZulu-Natal, as an African student, if you are an African, you want to come in to do your master's, your PhD, you are not paying anything. And like I'm giving some people some tips this time around, that if you want to do your master's, you can just come to do some of this thing online, University of KwaZulu-Natal. So by the time you are there, you see, most of our nurses that are applying to come and write their NCLEX in South Africa, we should know that most of them are being denied of visa. They are being denied a visa. So the best way to come in, you can just apply for masters, which is tuition free. So you only come. Maybe you can start running your things online and all of that, but you have your visa. You will come and use that opportunity as a student. They will give you visa. You write your NCLEX here and you go back to Nigeria. So that is another tip that you can use. Then if you want to finish if you finish that master's, you have the opportunity of getting opportunity elsewhere. Prince Will posted something sometimes ago talking about research. In South Africa, these people are grounded in research. So, and certificates from South Africa here, people tend to recognize it in most of these developed countries. One of my senior in the university, let me tell you in the School of Nursing then, what he did. This man sold the whole building. He sold his building at Ibadan and used the money for masters. He paid for masters in the best university in Africa. That's University of Cape Town. So this man had his masters, and it was that masters he had in UCT, University of Cape Town, that gave him opportunity to get scholarship in Australia. So just be strategic, know your plan, know what you want to do, and just follow it like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. The truth is that there are a lot of hack. There are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of information. Like I said again, most times, many of us just like following the popular pathway. There are people who are getting jobs from Nigeria, straight up in Canada without writing NCLEX. People are getting jobs in England without doing those exams. People are getting opportunity. You just need to know what is happening. Don't always be around place where you have general information. Be around place like this once in a while where you can get access to real-time information, real-time updates, and of course where you can also learn from experts as well. We have Christy. Christy, you want to ask a question or your contribution? Over to you, please.
Not a question but a contribution. Aside using the Google to check for information, which is very essential, we also need to talk to people. Personally, let me use myself as an example from my personal experience. When I came to the UK newly, after passing my OSCE, I was a bit confused. We have a whole lot of opportunities in the UK, trust me. Because if you want to follow that, oh, you've got different opportunities, you might end up getting confused and not knowing what to do. So I feel talking to people is also necessary. The first lady I had a conversation with, she's a CNP. She came on ward rounds, and after she patient, at the end of the day, we had a comment, and I asked her a question. So how did you get to this point? What did you do? Questions like that from people you feel will be of help to you. I've already known, of course, I've got different specialties here in the UK. I have an idea of what it really entails. Also, hearing it from someone that is doing it makes more sense, because a lot of times you might just get your information online and you get confused about some certain things you're seeing online. To be honest, it has happened to me once or twice. But if you can get resource persons that can channel you through to the right path, telling you what to do at each stage. I'm not saying go and be bugging the person. Of course, you have your own part to play, but having those people we can easily reach out to ask questions when we are confused or connections is also very essential. And permit me to Obina Victor permit me to slide into your DM to make some more clarifications. I hope that's permitted. Victor,
I'm already. I just followed you now because I needed to speak with you too.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. People on each other's DM. Who is going to be on my DM? I'll be waiting patiently. I pray God also bring people my way, and I have to get people on my DM as well. All right, guys, we're still on Nursing Space with Prince Phil, talking about global nursing education and practice, and of course, supporting nursing on practical mentorship, on career education and academics. And we see how right here is a Victor Obina, Commonwealth Scholar, Mandela Washington Fellow, CEO, 360 Degree Earth Network, and Mr. Woye Azaya, PhD scholar, University of Western Cape, South Africa. I mean, if you guys don't know, myself and Owoye, we collaboratively wrote a research in 2019 that was also published in Institute of Journal of Science and Technology. And guess what? Research, a common topic. I mean, guys, I think this actually scores the importance of mentorship. I remember that day, I received a lot of DM from people. I think that was 2019 when the heat of UK was very, very popular and NMCM was stranded to an extent. I say stranded in the sense that they didn't expect the number of verification that they were receiving, because normally we have one person manning the verification area to approve and all of those things, but with the thousands of nurses applied to the UK, it was becoming very, very challenging. That it was now slow for you to get verified. Take like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. People were reaching out to me, Prince Will, I'm urging verification, this and this and this. So I was like, I just put on my WhatsApp, started like, if you know you're having challenges with John, please kindly let me know yes or no, something like that. And next thing, as I messaged me, I said, Prince Will, what you just put on your WhatsApp right now, we can turn this thing into a research and we can publish it, and you're going to be the chief author. I'll be like, wow, really? I said, yes. I said, I never said, okay, let's go. So from there, we bought out a data collection tool and said, okay, what are the challenges of nurses communicating with Nigeria? We bought out some information, asked questionnaire, we did the research together, we bought a team of people. Brian Victor was there as well, Adeyemo Moses, Owoye, and at the end of the day, we spoke with NMCM, we gave them our feedback, and the feedback has led to a lot of tremendous solution in within the NMCM. So I think the topic was challenges in communication with the NMCM of Nigeria, and since then it has been very, very remarkable. And we're also carrying out another research right now, myself and Owoye and 2 other scholars as well. This time we are assessing the challenge experienced by internationally trained nurses in the UK. We know many nurses are getting tired. Many nurses are getting frustrated. I mean, 2 months ago, I rolled out a Twitter poll asking people how long did it take them to become overburdened in the UK, and a vast majority of the people that responded to that poll responded that they became overburdened, and they witnessed the highest level of stress within the first 3 months on arrival. In the pool, we have option of first 3 months, first 6 months, after 1 year, and over 45% of them said they became overstressed within the first 3 months. And these are issues of concern. We cannot just assume that, okay, it's not enough to say internationally trained nurses are not fitting into the NHS. What type of support are they receiving? Somebody messaged me 2 days ago, one of my prodigies as well. She was like, Prince Will, she's coming back to Nigeria. Like, calm down. How do you mean you're coming back to Nigeria? She said she's serious, that her workplace, she cannot cope, this and this, and they say, calm down. So sometimes what the NHS institution calls support for internationally trained nurses from Africa is not what we actually perceive as support. It's one thing for me to say, I'm supporting you to climb this tree by throwing a rope for you. And it's another thing for you to say, I expect you to actually come down to come and carry me because my leg is no longer moving. I have a fracture, I have a dislocation. So what organizational culture I've been able to curate to be a support system might not actually be what the person you are supporting is perceived or has perceived to be support for that person. So with that, there's clash of interest. So for you, you'll be like, I've provided all the opportunity for you. I've provided preceptorship program for you. I've provided what is to call a supernumerary period for you, 2 weeks or 3 months or 1 month, and yet you are not coping with that. So myself and my team are on a research now, and this time we are trying to assess challenges experienced by internationally trained nurses in the UK. And at the end of the day, we hope and we pray that with our recommendation, we are going to be submitting it to the chief nurse of NHS England, and that will be like the first published article officially by internationally trained African nurses on what their colleagues perceive as burden of care in working in the NHS. So yeah, working on that project, and it's a very, very big one. And we are doing everything that needed: ethical clearance, data management, and of course, we are taking our time to follow that through. And by God's grace, before the end of this year, that will be published as well. Christy, you're raising up your hand. You want to add something?
I want to ask a question. Can I be added to that project? Because yesterday I had a conversation with RCN. I had a media round regarding transitioning of international nurses in the United Kingdom. And today I went for another interview in my trust. And obviously I talked about the culture shock, which they said they were going to implement, and a lot of things. So what I want to ask now is, have you guys gone far? If no, I would like to partake on the research.
All right, straight up, yeah, we've not gone very far. Definitely, your interest will always be accommodated. I mean, you're coming from a part of like for you are a key stakeholder in your organization. You are around in providing mentorship, and of course, you're in charge of managing safety as well. So we're definitely going to reach out to you. Just send me a DM on WhatsApp, Christy. Definitely, your interest is captured, and of course, it's for the progress. We can never have too many good people in a project. It's only when you have people that probably don't understand their interest. We understand your interest, and we're happy to accommodate you in that project. So myself and Isaiah were here. Officially, we welcome you. Welcome, Christy. Yeah, we're going to go straight back to Isaiah. Yeah, so this one is actually out of what we've been saying, but still on the main topic. We've seen a lot of news. We've seen a lot of economies. We've seen a lot of technologies that have taken route. Like I'm sure Victor are very popular. You're very conversant with this. You see a graduate of pharmacology, or a graduate of radiology, or a graduate of computer science with a B degree getting a PhD opportunity without getting a master's degree. I mean, BSc to PhD, Bachelor of Arts to PhD, Bachelor of Education to PhD, and we've seen some stuff like that. Mr. Isaiah, what's the prospect in nursing? I mean, is it possible to also have that part where somebody can have a degree and from then get a research assistant that can actually get a PhD program sorted out? What are the prospects of BSc to PhD in nursing? Is it possible? Is it achievable, or just a nightmare? Isaiah, over to you, sir.
All right, if I should understand you very well, you are trying to say maybe somebody having first degree and maybe first degree in another thing and getting PhD nursing. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, I'm saying that in other departments, we see engineers who have degree in engineering and they shoot their shot to professors who are PhD in probably different type of engineering, and they get a PhD slot. So I'm also saying, is it possible in nursing that a degree holder in nursing can actually shoot a shot to get a research assistant to work as a to work in a lab of a nurse in a PhD without going through the masters? What are the prospect and what do you think you know about that?
Oh, well, I think is a possibility. It's a possibility. When you have what it takes, especially those who have a very good grade in their first degree, so by the time they apply for maybe by the time they apply for PhD in some institution, is a direct thing. So those who want to take you straight into that level, we want to see your performance, your first degree, the ability, what you can do, and all of that. And then you have to put your CV in such a way, because you are not there in order to meet the person. You are sending your CV forth. You are sending your certificate and all of that. So those things that you are sending forth will be what will promote you. So by the time they see the potentials in you and they are able to see that kind of thing you are bringing to the table, they can just pick you in and you start with them. Every place, there is no place that people look for the best, because they know that the best will always add value to them. So it is a possibility. But in our own environment there, you just must follow that kind of trend. Either you have first class and other, you must go through the masters and all of that. I have a professor of petrochemical engineering in my former university. In fact, he stayed directly, we stay in the quarters together. The man made first class in engineering, petrochemical engineering, and he did PhD directly. Okay? So they waived that aspect of doing a masters and all of that, because they were able to see potentials in the man. So it is a possibility in the Western world that you can just be given that kind of an opportunity. In our environment in Nigeria, we are still very, very reserved. We are so we know we don't giving room for that kind of opportunity for people for now. So I know that that we will not be losing those with first class and all of that. We will not be losing them to the Western world, because the Western offer them opportunities that will make them to be relevant to the Western world, and that's how we lose them. So that's the issue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isaiah. Just like your last word captures it all. Obinna Victor, I'm coming to you. I mean, we cannot be losing people with first class degree to the Western world. One of the major reasons is that most times our head of department, our head of clinical services, our principals of nursing schools, and of course, Department of vice chancellors, many of them are not flexible, and many of them are unable to see beyond what they do right now. So you're going to see somebody feel like, oh, I went through BSc, I went through masters, I suffered to get my PhD and my professor. So you just want to get BSc and get your PhD. So many of that of cultural orientation that you must do what I did. Even right now, you can tell that many nurses who are having PhD are seeing the way things are not very, very easy. They are not happy. They'll be like, oh, so this one just getting easy. You just do your BSc 1 year, you do your masters 1 year, and then you do your PhD 2 years. In 4 years, you already have your PhD, or 5 years, you already have your PhD. Meanwhile, in our time, we stayed for 8 years, 9 years. They want you to suffer like that. So they will never be flexible to even give you that chance to say, okay, from your degree, they will not. They know what they won't tell you. Like what I'm saying is that I'm sure some people here might not have had this for the first time. I don't know, but I'm sure people do not even know that you can actually get a PhD from a bachelor degree. Eze Victor, I'll allow you to speak right now. You can unmute your mic. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, just like Mr. Isaiah said, it depends on the country. Now, UK has one of the most flexible nursing educational systems. All right. Nursing degrees are UK's most employable type of degree. Let me say that again. Nursing degrees are UK's most employable type of degrees, according to Health Education England. Now, because of this, the UK system, educational system, they've created a whole lot of ways to come into nursing. Now, this thing you just mentioned, if you have someone who is actually looking for it, it is applicable in my school, University of Manchester. Now, let me read the requirement for you. Now, they said that that they have a 4-year program, which is strongly recommended for anyone who, one, has not studied in the UK before, has not completed specific research methods training at a master's degree level and received good grades. 3, has not completed research dissertation at master's degree level. 4, has not scored at least 6.5 in all area of IELTS. All right. But the issue is that this person must have a satisfactory experience as it relates to that particular course, which is nursing. Now they call it, if you go to the University of Manchester website, they call it PhD/ Master of Philosophy in Nursing. Now, let me shock you guys also. We are talking about BSc to PhD straightforward. In the UK here, I told you they have so many flexible ways of coming into nursing. In the UK here, you can actually, let me say you're not a nurse. I don't know if there's anybody who is not a nurse here, but is interested in becoming one. You can actually do your first in physiology, in zoology, in animal husbandry, and you come and do nursing at a master's degree level here. University of Salford, here in Manchester, they are offering such courses. Debbie is offering it. Let me say you did physiology as your first degree, and you say, okay, I want to be a nurse. You have 2 years program to study nursing in a master's degree level. Prince, we just like mentioned, our people in Nigeria, they will say, I did for 8 years to get a PhD. I feel very bad. If I see them in clinical area, I will tell them, look at you guys. I don't know if this program is actually doing us good in the profession or is doing us bad. Your first degree is in physiology. You're doing your master's in nursing. I don't know how that applies, but it's working for them. The fact is that these people, they need more nurses. So they just create this system to get so many persons into the profession, both at the PhD level because they need people to educate their own students, and in the clinical area because they need more nurses. So it's all about we making our research. It's a good question Prince will ask. I don't know if he was just thinking about it or someone asked him. Once you get that question in your head, the next thing you should do is go to Google or go to YouTube and check if it happens anywhere. And if you're lucky, you'll find your answers.
Absolutely, Victor. Definitely, you're correct. I mean, the one you talked about, our Bachelor in Physiology and the rest, I've actually have access to that information since 2018 when I was working as a health and social care program in Nigeria. Many of our students there, they're looking forward to do masters in nursing, BSc in nursing. We actually share with them. I mean, we had like even University of Plymouth, University of Portsmouth, they do the program as well. You have a master's degree in adult nursing. So even if you studied animal husbandry, even if you studied HND in engineering, all you need to do sometimes from some university will tell you that, okay, show us at least an evidence of a diploma in level 1, level 2, or level 3, combining with your non-healthcare background, and then you kind of get access to study masters in nursing. Is that flexible? Like you say, I mean, countries like UK look at providing equal opportunities. They look at how they can grow numbers to increase their workforce. So they do not actually care about the traditional way of, oh, it must be like this in the days of John the Baptist, and it must be like this now. No, today's method is different from yesterday's innovation. So we must continue to evolve the method while we continue to maintain the same mission. So yeah, that's it. It has been in existence. So concerning the question, if I just thought about it or somebody asked me, no. I've actually hosted this. I hosted a space in January to talk about the topic extensively. I listed out universities where you can actually do RN to MSc and BSc to PhD. How you can get research and how you can join some lab. So it was actually part of my question. But this time, I wanted Mr. Isaiah to answer the question because he actually has a rich level of experience, and I wanted people on the space to also know that there's a possibility of getting RON to BSN, RON to MSN. I'm sure many people don't even know that you can get RON to MSN and you can get from BSc to get a PhD. Emo Voke, you are welcome on the space. Regular attendee. Osha, please serve out the food for first timers, and of course, you're welcome on the space today. Emo Voke, you can unmute your mic and speak. You can share your question or contribute. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for this platform. I just wanted to support what Obinna just said. It's actually true. While I was in class, somebody came to talk to us about PhD in nursing, and she was like, we should not we should not be scared that it's something we can actually do after BSc top up, and I just want to second that. Yeah, that's all. And thank you very much for this platform. It's really intellectual, it's really educational, it's superb. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma Voke. Thank you so much for showering the comium on what we do right here on the space. So guys, again, if you have any question, please do well to use the microphone button. We'll be happy to take your question. And of course, you can send a DM if you are shy to speak in public. Your hand is raised. You can go ahead, sir.
I want to inform us that sometimes ago, also, you can have your master's and even become a professor in Nigeria. So from master's, move to become a professor. But a point came in Nigeria that they have to stop that. There are some professors that don't really have a PhD, that by the time they look at what they have done consistently and their input in the academic environment, they just promote them as to the position to the rank of a professor. But that has been stopped. So now they want everyone to get the PhD. It's good. It's the highest academic attainment in a way. Professor is just what do we call it? Professorship is just position in a way. The highest is the PhD. So if we are looking at because it is not only a certificate, it is also what you can do. Some people are having this certificate, but they are not actually reproducing the something. The purpose of education, the purpose of education is to educe. And when you want to educe, you use what is in your environment to develop yourself and transform that kind of an environment. So there is no reason why somebody will be carrying a certain certificate and the person is not giving better thing to the society. So it has been stopped. And for those who now had, who happened to become a professor without a PhD, in those days, people started discriminating. So somebody will write Professor Nweke this, PhD, just to differentiate that my IO have been able to go through. I've gone through PhD, so I'm not like other professor that is just from masters to PhD. So our orientation is so much, and is so. In fact, it's just a matter of orientation. So that's the reason why we need to aim global. We need to think. We need to think and reason along with the trend that is in the. That is a standard and the best practice, so to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. You talked about going global and orientation. These are key things that actually further reduce the chances of nurses and, of course, professionals in Nigeria. I remember back then in nursing school, when I started my men in nursing advocacy, I actually got to know, because before I used to think like there was a federal government circular that has mandated that School of Nursing should take only 5 boys in the nursing school. This School of Nursing take only 3 boys. I was shocked to know that the number of boys that they take was dependent on the hospital administration. It was dependent on the school principal, straight to the DNS, and of course to the CMD. So back then, this principal was actually refused to admit more males. Guess what? Refusing to admit more males. Why? Because she perceived that males are stubborn, that males are difficult to control. Hence, for that type of reason, male nurses were given less than 5% admission. Because when I founded Men in Nursing Assembly in 2017, I did a lot of research. I compared nursing in the West to nursing in the East to nursing in the North. In the North, you have 100 people in the class, and you have over 60% of them are male nurses. In the West, you have 50% in the class, and you have 90% of them are female nurses. It was then that I got the inspiration that this thing, if it is a national policy, it cannot be different from the North and different from the West. And then when I started doing research, looking for documents that, like, what are the basics for choosing 4 nurses out of 50 nurses? What are the basics for choosing 30 nurses out of 50 nurses in the North, then 3 out of 50 in the West? I realized that it was more of emotional and petty sentiment. And the doctors, they do better. I mean, a male, basically, check nursing in Nigeria. The people that are doing great nursing in Nigeria are the guys from the North. Why? Because they have males in their profession. The first male to become a senator is from the North. The first male to become a House of Representatives member is from the North. The current NMCS Secretary General is from the North. So the North, the moment you have more males in a profession, whether I would like it or not, from the days of men have been positioned for leadership. Men are going to propel towards the angle of leadership. So why will you allow a petty sentiment of, okay, they're going to cause trouble, to override future collaboration, future idea that these guys will actually go to become the men that will advocate for the inclusion, for promote nursing profession across board and represent very well in politics, because the women are not there in politics. Okay, so most times some of these excuses of, okay, men in nursing, many of them are just sentimental. You get. So a lot of sentiment with our healthcare, a lot of sentiment with our nursing, and it's actually very, very sad that individuals just allow their own sentiment to rub off from nursing profession. We're going to go straight back to Obin and Victor. We still have 2 more questions for you both before we call it a day on the space. So Victor, talking about master's degree, I mean, currently you're doing your master's in the UK right now. With the information you have right now and with the level of exposure, if you were to choose to study a master's degree in a nursing-related program, will you go for the USA or the UK? So I want you to juxtapose between masters in the USA and UK, and highlighting, number 1, access to funding, number 2, global ranking. Over to you.
Okay, access to funding, flexibility is the UK. All right. So the UK has this very flexible educational system. Just like you said, they just want to provide a level playing ground for everyone, and it's also boosts their economy. All right. Like funding or fees from international students is one of the things that they are using to run their economy. School fees for home students is 8,000 to 9,000. It is written in their policy. For international students, it is 23 to 25,000 pounds per academic year. You can convert that to Naira and see what that means. Now, most Nigerians are not, I'm just talking about Nigerians now. I'm not talking about others coming from other countries. Most Nigerians are not just coming here for a degree program because they just want to get a degree program. Let's tell ourselves the truth. They just want to leave the country. That is the truth. So UK offers them a very, very flexible system. Why the US? They are not interested in how much you're coming to pay them, because their school is already on the high side. They have fewer scholarships. They have schools that are highly prestigious. Now, I'm not talking about the school being prestigious, global ranking, all right? You have more schools you have more schools that are of that top ranking compared to the UK. In the US, you have MIT, you have Harvard, you have schools that are up there in global ranking compared to the UK. But for someone who is coming from Nigeria, I don't think global ranking should be your concern when you're looking for a degree in diaspora, because you're already getting something that is far better than what you're getting in Nigeria. The best school in Nigeria is 400th place in the world. So for me, if you're looking for a school in diaspora, you should consider your academic need. You should also consider the amount of money you have and the course, your career path, before you go for any of these countries that we are mentioning, UK, US, Canada, and not actually the ranking of the school. I know ranking is important, but it depends on you as a person. The same level of employability you would get as someone who is studying in Cambridge is the same you will get if you put your best foot forward and graduate from the University of Salford. That's the truth. So it depends on you as an individual, because most of these schools, they've had alumni who are all global leaders. Salford has produced global leaders. Cambridge has also done the same. But now if you compare it to where you're coming from, you see that the gap is so huge. So I don't see the reason why you'll be looking at global ranking when you're choosing a school, when all these schools, they have all it takes to give you a better education. So for flexibility, for funding, UK, for global ranking, if that's what you want to consider, the US. Then when you now talk about life after school, career path after school, that is something or one thing Prince didn't ask me, so I wouldn't want to talk about it.
Please go ahead. Very important, please.
Okay, when you talk about career path after school, now so many persons would have to reason so many things. Now, one thing people do consider when you talk about the US, when they are considering after their study, is security in the US is questionable. You hear of gun laws, policies around carrying of arms. Each day or every other day, you're hearing about shootings in America and all that. That's what so many persons are scared of. But if you ask me personally, now this is my personal opinion, when it comes to after school, flexibility too, you go for the UK. One thing huge after your study, I think the US should go for it. Like if you want that dream life, the US should go for it. I'm not in the US, but this is my own personal opinion. As far as nursing, for instance, is concerned, the US actually has a more relaxed system when it comes to the workspace. You would enjoy your work as a nurse. You have so many options to work as a nurse in the US compared to the UK. Then the pay is twice what you're getting in the UK if you convert it at the end of the day. But healthcare system in the UK is free, while that in the US you have to pay for it. Educational system in the UK, if you're a citizen, if you finally become a citizen, for your children is almost free. Even if you're not a citizen, educational system here, let me say elementary school, is free for your child, while in the US you would have to pay for it. So while you're getting the money in the US, you're using it for so many other things that would give you a work-life balance. While in the UK here, you would suffer for it, you would have your back being pained, working for NHS, maybe care home if you're going for the money. At the end of the day, your parents will give you that life that is a little bit easier when you're aging. So there are lots of advantages and disadvantages one have to look at across the line. So if you're getting it good this other end, you're not getting it right this other end. You just have to choose your own end and settle with it.
Absolutely, Victor. I mean, one of the reasons why I resigned from the NHS was because there was no direct pathway clear enough for me that I was happy with to lead to permanent residency. I mean, working with an employer for 5 years, 6 years to apply for ILR before you can become a permanent resident was something that didn't go down well with me. I mean, I'm a key member of the country. I'm paying my taxes. I'm working. I'm going to take 6 years. Countries like USA, once you arrive, you get your green card. In Canada, you get your PRO. You have access to public funding. You have access to get a mortgage. You have access to, when you give it to your child becomes a citizen right there in Canada and straight right here in the US as well. So these were some of the things that you have to consider. Like for schooling, like you said, Victor, you were spot on. Like An average Nigerian that leave Nigeria to school in the UK, we don't go there to actually go and school because we actually want to school so much, but because it's actually an opportunity for us to navigate opportunities. And at the end of the day, now that I'm going to the UK to go and school, what are the prospects for me? Because you don't want to, many of you are leaving, you don't want to come back. What does the UK offer? If you get your master's, for example, you have 2-year post-study visa. Right now, with those that just recently graduated, my DM is filled up with, please, what can I do? I just finished my master's. I don't want to apply for 2-year post-study because that 2-year post-study, they know it's a very, very difficult process. I don't want to apply for 2-year post-study. How can I get sponsorship? How can I get employer? It is very difficult. But in Canada and in the US, once you finish your school program like this, like for them, you have a direct pathway for a permanent residency. If you can show quality experience for at least 3 to 6 months in Canada or at least 24 months in your home country, you are definitely, and if your profession is among what we call shortage of skill in the UK, if it's like that here in Canada, like your occupation or profession is what they need, definitely your PR will come out in 3 to 6 months. And you're a permanent resident. And after 24 months, you become a citizen, 24 months to 3 years. So why do you want to go to school where at the end of the day, after school, what next? After school, what next? Because I know somebody, she's a nurse. She went to study in the UK. She went to do a course in public health, master's. After the master's in public health course, she couldn't pass her nursing exam and she had less than 2 months to come back to Nigeria. And she said she didn't want to apply for 2-year post-study. She was looking for sponsorship and she was so desperate that she had an offer to pay £12,000.
Wow.
Yes, face to face, my mentee, £12,000. Not to work as a nurse, so to work as a senior care assistant. Wow. £12,000. So, like, I really like that you added the last part, which is actually the most important. We don't just go there to come and school. We actually go there to actually better our life. What are the chances in the UK to get a job after graduating? What are the chances in the US and Canada? And it also depends on what you study. People just come to the UK and what masters are you doing? I'm in animal and environmental husbandry. Then you say you don't get a job.
They will not end up as support workers.
As support workers. And even that support worker, they're not going to give you sponsorship most times. They're not going to give you sponsorship. So most times 2 years collapse and you have to go back to Nigeria. So guys, you have to be strategic about these things. If you're going to get a master's, do it. Fight right now. I can tell you that March 2023, the slot for nursing for masters in UK, if it is still available, it is only 10%. I can tell you that confidently. The most competitive master's degree right now in UK is nursing science and computer science and psychology. Top 3. Nursing science number 1, computer science number 2, psychology number 3. People are fighting to get masters because we know that in masters in nursing, you automatically have registration to become a registered adult nurse in the UK and you can get an NMC PIN and then you get the COS easily. People are fighting to get masters in nursing now. I saw a tweet on the timeline this morning. They say, Victor, if you chose to inside University of Hull, that is most likely going to meet an ex-Nigerian banker. All bankers from Nigeria, like if you throw a stone right now, University of Hull, that's what they're going to meet a Nigerian banker from Nigeria. People are leaving. I mean, somebody said, why would somebody leave a $2 million job in Nigeria and go and start studying masters in the UK? I mean, things are different. People just leave for different reasons, and yeah, we can't control that. Thank you very much, Eze Victor, for sharing that particular insight. We'll ask Mr. Isaiah his last question now. I said, what can be done? So, Mr. Isaiah, this is for you. This is more of healthcare. We're going to healthcare policy and advice right now for system change. What can be done to reduce the years of nursing training experience in Nigeria? I mean, if you are in the UK, if you're in the US, and you tell a friend or a colleague or someone that it took me 3 years to go through nursing school, an extra 4 years to go through degree, or sometimes 5 years, in total 8 years degree in nursing. How can we have an orientation to change that? Should we completely abolish the nursing school and people should face the Department of Nursing? Or what can be done? What can be done, Mr. Isaiah? What can be done? 8 years to get a degree is not fair. It's not palatable. I mean, life in Nigeria right now is 54 years. So if you use 8 years to go for nursing school, you spend over 20% of your life expectancy trying to get
Even the 5 years I did in the university, they'll be asking me what were you studying.
Exactly. So I mean, Isaiah, we're here. You've been there. You've done that. What are your recommendations on this subject matter?
Yeah, thank you. The important thing, one of the things one can do is to have like minds. If you have people who are game changer, those who are committed to change things, and we have them in position, so people can actually come up with a study. Let's look at the way, if we are doing the same thing repeatedly and we are not getting better results, why don't we have a paradigm shift? Now let's look at the environment where something is shorter in a way and they are getting results. So if the result and it's not as elongated as ours, so eventually we should have a rethink that there's something is wrong with our system. So if we are able to do a study and we have like minds that we look at that study and we just compare and contrast, and we're able to copy. We may not copy everything hook, line, and sinker, but we can adapt the study to our own environment in order to make things work. So, like you stated before now, we had a study on communication. And that improved communication because we submitted our report to Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. And with that, there is a change in policy. There is a change and things, and I mean, the verification exercise now, some people are getting it within 2 weeks. So, and which was not like that before. So the system now look at the way to improve the communication. So if we have like minds there, we can have a study and we can have a policy document and all that will be taken through these like minds in order for them to implement it. Let me tell you that people must have been telling, in fact, the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, they had their team, they were in America some times ago. They were able to go around, they even met some Nigerians that they were holding key positions in some of those health institutions. I know they were able to fraternize with them, they discussed and all of that. Most things will have been told, okay? They will have learned many things. So how many of those things were being adapted to our system? How many of those things are being put in place in our environment? So it's just the question of orientation. There is going to be an orientation change by the time we are able to move out and see the way things work, and we have the willingness in order to adapt it or adopt it into our system. So I think that is the only way out. Thank you.
Definitely. I mean, there must be an evidence to show that the system needs to change. Eze Victor Obinna needs to go. He's working tomorrow and he has a lot of things to follow up with. I'll just ask him his last question and also ask him to give his final thought. Right now, Victor, many nurses are graduating from nursing schools, College of Nursing and Department of Nursing, and many of them are expected to normally go for their internship program and complete their NYC. And we see that there's a decline in enrollment into the NYC scheme program. Which, as an expert, and of course, as a career mentor, what will you ask a young nurse now who is asking you, sir, I've completed my nursing degree, I'm between traveling to the UK and NYC. Should I go for my NYC before I go to the UK, or I can just go to the UK like that? Final words, Victor. I think, Victor, are you there? I'm sure I must have left. Mr. Zai, you want to talk about that?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now, Victor. I can hear you now. Last question, please.
Yeah. So I don't try to look at the generality of Nigerian problem and relate with each person in that line. All right. We've had so many persons who didn't do this NYSC and they are still progressing. Even as our leaders, they lead us with NEPA bills and all that. So I wouldn't tell a Nigerian nurse that you must, let me say the person is interested in actually migrating abroad to study. personally, I would say, okay, let's still have the best of nurses in Nigeria building up the system, but you won't tell someone who the situation of the system have really affected. You won't tell this person stay back because you want total thing to be done and all that. So it depends on the person's personal desire or personal needs in future. If this person have an ideology or a desire to come back to Nigeria someday and add to the public space, I will tell this person, do your NYSC before leaving, because that's what I did. I know that someday I would come back to add to the Nigerian system, especially the public system. That was why I did my NYSC, because I know it is recommended, some way it is recommended from the experience from our former Minister of Finance, Kemi, right? Because of the issue she had. So I will tell you, what do you actually want for your future? Do you want to progress? Do you want to go to diaspora, live there, establish there? What do you want? So that would help us decide for that person. It's not like a straightforward or a stringent process. If the person wants to come back to Nigeria someday to build in the public sphere, why not do your NYSC? I don't know if that is clear. Hello?
Yeah. That's very clear. I mean, thank you very much. Like you said, we can't talk about the generality of the question. We have to put into the desire of the individual, and of course with the person coming with connection. So, Eze Victor, thank you very much for joining on the space tonight. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're very exceptional. And thank you so much. Yeah, Eze Victor will have to go and take some rest now. Of course, he's preparing for another 12-hour shift tomorrow to catch some fun. We have Abubakar here. Abubakar, I think you have a question. Please do what to ask quickly, as I am here, and we're going to take the question shortly. Abubakar, we are rounding off your question, please.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. It's been amazing being in this session. Quick one. I just wanted to ask about the master's pathway. So we know that there are a lot of options. Let's assume that, yes, you already know what you want to do. Maybe I want an administrator or I want to be in management. How does one now come to the decision of doing a decision between doing a master's in, let's say, nursing administration or healthcare administration? I understand that with nursing administration, it's like you specialize in nursing. Perhaps maybe you want to go into the education line later on. It might be easier. But then with the healthcare administration, it's like it gives you like a wider scope of practice. So how does one decide between these two? What advice would you give to someone that's trying to make a decision between these two? Like, do you go for the narrow one that is specialized in one area, or do you expand? Thank you. That's my question. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, Mr. Zai, you want to take on that?
Oh, sorry, I question. Well, sorry.
Please,
can you recap, please?
All right, just briefly. Let's say someone, how does someone decide between a master's that is narrower or wider? Let's say between a master's in nursing administration and one in healthcare administration. That's just the summary of the question.
Okay. It should be based on anything you are choosing, should be based on your interest. It should be based on your interest. Automatically, by the time you do the one with a wider scope, you have much more opportunity to get something. By the time you get the one with a narrow scope, you know that it will limit an opportunity. So, but the way to advise someone is to let the person know the pros and cons. In counseling, you have to, you don't decide for individual, mainly in counseling. You let the person know the pro and the cons of the whole thing, and you now leave the person to decide. In fact, by the time you are telling the person that this is the positive side, the negative side, before you finish everything, the person will have known the right thing to do. So mainly, if I'm to just state something, I will advise that something should be based on the individual's interest, and the individual can look at a wider scope if your interest. But if you know that you know where you are going, you actually know that this is what you want. You don't want that wider scope. The narrowed one is the something that catches your interest. You can just follow that. Where there is a will, there will always be a way. So that is it. So willingness must be there. Thank you.
I mean, willingness must be there and must be an area of your interest. If, for example, nursing administration, healthcare administration, these are broad areas. So thank you very much, Isaiah Wenye, for sharing your counsel tonight. Guys, we've had over 3 hours, 30 minutes on the space. We've had a long time. We've had a long ride. We've had a lot of people sharing practical insight. And I'm sure with these 3.5 hours we spent here, we've been able to gain practical mentorship on how to navigate masters and PhD opportunities in nursing. Trust me, this conversation is not exhaustive. There are much more that you can research. There are much more that you can bring out of the mouth of Owoye. There are much more that Victor can tell you if you engage them day to day. And of course, myself, if you're happy to follow me, follow Eze Victor, follow as Owoye and all the speakers on the platform tonight. We're very, very happy to have you all. Thank you so much for coming. This is weekend. I don't know. I'm sure some of us are supposed to be having TGIF right now, enjoying the day, enjoying the night. But hey, we are here talking about career. I was supposed to be talking about Peter Obi, talking about Bitcoin and everything. But instead, we are here talking about career. And we're very, very happy to receive all of you in the house. I'm very happy tonight. I'm sure you all have also got value from the space as well. And I'm now leaving the hands of Isaac Owoye. Final words before we go. Mr. Isaac, your final goodbye.
Hello. So I think it will still go back to all I've been saying. We just pick those things one after the other. Number one is that we should try as much as possible to improve, to add value to ourselves. As you are adding value to yourself, know that you want to use that in order to better the lot of people. Okay? Then the certificate should not just be acquired just for the fun of it. It should be something that should be in line with your interest, something that will go along with your goal. And in the overall, in all we are doing, don't look at our immediate environment. Let us think global. Let us aim global. Let us impact our world. Let us be relevant. Let us be too relevant to be relegated in anywhere we find ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let us be too relevant to be relegated in anywhere we find ourselves. And guys, that brings us to the end of the Twitter space tonight. If you missed the space, you joined late, or you probably didn't come on time, or you probably were busy, couldn't catch every glimpse of it, I'm happy to tell you that the space was recorded. So you can go back to my timeline, click the button, and of course, you'll be happy to receive the space. On behalf of myself, Prince Will Agedo, I'm happy to receive you all tonight. And of course, we had a good time. Isaiah Weye, Obina Victor Eze, thank you for coming. And if you think you learned something new from the space, please do well to tweet on it using the Nursing Space hashtag. I will be happy to receive your tweet. For now, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Pato Rankin, and he calls this one Sean Different. Enjoy.
I'm so excited, it's already weekend. We keep it 100, yeah, we never pretend. Tell my friends and your friends can be friends. See that sky level, get there walking in different. Girl, I'm mind so different. Girl, I'm mind so different. Girl, I'm mind so different. Girl, I'm mind move so different. Girl, I wine so different. This girl's got nothing on you. I swear, girl, nothing on you. Where you wine, girl, you look new. Me want spend me money on you. Girl, move on me like a miller. Bumper big like a caterpillar. One more shot of the killer. You going in I'm a villa. Give it to me, baby. Point for me, baby. Jump on me, baby. We are team, baby. Forever, girl, I'm mine so different. 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 See the girl, I'm move so different. Girl, I'm mine so different. You must be the one, the man, them are asking, say, when are you coming back? Me love the way you do the things that you do, girl. Please don't be done with that. Please don't stop, girl. Put it for me like that. If I ever be the man in your life, girl, there is no going back. Give it to me, baby. Wait for me, baby. Jump on me, baby. We are team, baby. Forever, girl, I'm mine so different. 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 City girl, I'm move so different. Girl, I'm mine so different. Yo, Pastor Rankin, look how the girl them a wine. Nigerian girl them, you can girl them. How are you? Why see me, girl? Why see me? How are you? Why see me, girl? Why see me? European girl them, why see me? Yo, American girl just why see me? Yo, London girl, why see me? You know,
trendybeats.com.
public go. Holy Father, screaming my Lady Gaga. She got me in my feelings. I be Adam. Father's got enough feeding. Holy Father, my Holy Father. Holy Father, Holy Father, screaming my Lady Gaga. She got me in my feelings. I be Adam. Father's got enough feeding. My Holy Father, my Holy Father. I'm on my cup. I'm running back to you. I'm running back up. I'm running back for you. Give me a map up. I'm running back to you. Keep breaking my heart up. Till I run out of heart up. I'm on my cup. I'm running back to you. I'm running back up. I'm running back for you. Give me a map up. I'm running back to you. Keep breaking my heart up. Till I run out of heart up. Colometa, I can't face it all alone. This shit is detrimental to my body and my soul. Don't wanna lose all the things we once had. Fuck all my friends and I still want you back. Can I have your number? Can I give you a call? We are not getting younger, so tonight let us try it on. Do me up, speak me out, make me stand on my feet. I surrender to thee. Do what you want with me. Holy Father, Holy Father, Lady Gaga, she come in my face. I'll be for this girl in everything. Holy Father, Holy Father. Holy God. Kiki. Fresh. For Lily. Betty no feel living. Kolo lock of it alive. Betty no feel hate my mother. Kolo only wants it alive. Like mama baby God. One day I come from the ghetto, so get you ghetto, so ghetto. Oh ghetto, then forget. Yeah. When I give my attack, oh you deserve. Reset to your defense. Oh, get to them, forget. So you see back when they go. You see, I learned from the best to the best. David, show that oh my God, forget now. Chance my brother for this life and all that daddy live from good and better. In love is in it be alive. One day I'm gonna get I can do like I said. Forget to them forget. No easy to forget. I can do like I said. Forget to them forget. Which one we say, you know if you trust nothing like me. Oh, like that. Shake me. Which one we say, you know what God give me your heart. Oh, Lily. Roach. Nice to meet you. I got nice Betty Butter. Say you can have my daughter. Make we link up later. Betty Butter. It go shock you like the when you see the yeah, when you enter. Which one say, you know if you trust person like me like that. Yeah, so tell me how was that to know? Say, which one say, you know what God give me your heart. Baby, I'm never letting go. Nice to meet you. I got nice Betty Butter. I am not a man, but I go spray you down. My baby, dripping water. Nice. Loving fire. To my son, I'm an reader. Cause so we say, you know, because they see like me like that. So tell me what is like to know. Say, you know what, God, give me your heart. Baby, I'm never letting go. Pastor's the go bad, queen of land. Skip the lamb, ABCD, can't go. She say, pipe me up. I'm not your plumber. Which one we say, you know, if you trust person like me, like that. So tell me, how was I to know?
Trendybeats.com.
Every little thing you did do to me, it's sweet to me for body. She love me, feel follow me. Wow. Get your bull and make her go crazy. I'ma get the show for me. Say make her withdraw money. Oh, man, no break. Make a carry your luggage. I define you for this. For this, I'm no trust, I'm fit to contain. Get your body in a package. So you know, see, I'm falling for love. Overdose me, love me, overdose me. You, I want me, love you, waiting for Lolo. Overloading, I'll be overloading. Your bank account, money plenty, tell me, Tina. Don't tell me love it tastes like this. Got my money in my pocket like this. Bitcoin in my wallet like this. Wisdom in my knowledge like this. Follow God, I know they follow man. But you are my task to consider. Hips to my legs like a photograph. Sign by me, then it's another graph. Live to die another day for you, baby. Quit my casting over ways for you, baby. The only time that you say that you hate me is when I take the last slice of pastry. Now I'm on the run, loving you till kingdom come. But you drive me crazy. Said someone, still my billboard, baby. My number one, see, baby. I'ma eat it, I mean like by me. I just wanna when you need me. Baby, now you matter, I did leave. Sing all day, yeah. Overdosing, body overdose. I'ma see you got it overload. And you know you bad like commando. I define you for this. No trust, I fit to contain. Your body like baggage. So you know, see, I'm falling for.
More music on trendybeats.com.
I'ma get no be so. Can you want capture my soul? I'ma get no be so. Make you one more. Better, better. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Nothing Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't call it for one Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My thought of mom is loaded. Me, you can fag up, but I'm on board. I'm on duty, but I'm on low-key. They want do me, they want do me. They want do me, so they want do me. When you won't want me, I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, I just flew from Miami. Peru, I'm loose. Even better, I'm fire. Pour at the bottle, I wanna level up. When I'm with you, I never get enough. So I'm not in a rush. I can hear music when you're here. Tonight we're rolling, party till closing. Since I put the ring on the finger, it's still frozen. Love is slow motion. I wanna feel you over me, yeah. Certain magic in your eyes, yeah. Girl, I love the way you ride it. And it happens every time you arrive, that's right. Girl, I want you in my life, yeah. There's a heaven and it's right here. I will never leave your side, stay tonight. When you won't see me, I'm in West London this evening. Giving me the feelings, no, I'm not leaving. Till I find LA next week, better, nah. Girl, I'd rather go find somewhere quiet. You glow, and I get lost here in your eyes. I'ma gain all be so. Girl, you just capture my soul. I'ma gain all be so. Make me wanna just take you home. I'm loose. Even better done the body. Better. Signs. And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. All out. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the tub. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get if I want it. If you fall in love, clearly certain. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. No faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. West and feet, I just want it. If I broke down my business, I'll show you it go bright. All I care for this. If I broke down my business, I'll show you it go bright. All I care for this. any excess, if you be the reason why your baba want to jealous me. If you want to take a serious, I do top speed. No fit to resonate, I'm on a different frequency. I don't think it's necessary. I'll be done with just somebody that could do like me. When I be like Musala coming off the right wing, I got to your defender, you no need to tell me. I'm on finesse. You know, send me, I must not. I will carry go. If me, I got money past you. If you're not careful, for now. You know, send me, I must not. I will carry go. If me, I got money past you. If you're not careful, if I broke down my business, I'm not sure you go right to it. All I get on the night. If I broke down my business, I'm not sure you go right to it. Better for us. If you be my baby girl, we go better for us. For better for us. If you be my baby girl, we go better for us.